This is the 17th season of Bass Talk Live with your hosts, Mark Jeffries and Matt Pingrack. BTL is brought to you by Lawrence, Bass Cat Boats, APCO, Duck and Fishing, Strike King Lures, Sunline, Big Bite Baits, Spro, X-Zone Lures, Yamagatsu, The Bass Tank, and Denali Rods. BTL coming at you. Good Tuesday, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where Matt and I and the fans are going to talk bass fishing or anything else that we or they want to talk about. Yes, folks, it is the Sunline Hotline Show today. And, Matt, we haven't done one for a while.
It's been several months.
Yeah, a few months.
They're always surprisingly they're always surprisingly good shows.
Yeah, they're one of the highest downloaded, listened to, replayed, watched live. And I think the biggest factor is the fans are engaged. And folks, we've got some good stuff to give away for you today for those people that are going to call in on the Sunline Hotline. And I need to put the number up. While I do that, Matt, what are we going to give away today?
Well, we have two things. And I was thinking, man, we got finesse fishermen out there. And then we also have power fishermen out there, right? So it's a Sunline Hotline show. So we're going to give away a 600-yard spool of Sunline shooter in 25-pound test. That's what Bradley flips when he flips the BFE and he flips bushes. So I know there's a lot of guys who don't use maybe 25. Yeah. But with the true diameter, the Japanese true diameter of the Sunline, a lot of the guys flip the 25. So that. And then on the other end of the spectrum, my Pickwick Lake tournament video is going to drop today. It's already done. Nice. I stayed in the studio. But it was during that tournament that I realized that 90% of the fish that I've caught this year have been on a single rod. And that rod is a spinning rod.
Imagine that.
It is the 7'4" Denali lithium multi-spin. It's actually the rod that Todd Faircloth talks about as a great Ned Rig rod. But I've been using it as a small crankbait, a shaky head, a Ned Rig, and a drop shot rod.
Very nice.
So I talked with Brian, and I had a conversation over at Denali. He does a great job over there. And when we select the winner, I just shoot him your address, and he will send a 7'4" Denali lithium multi-spin your way. Now, how are we going to select these winners?
We'll do it at the end of the show.
Random?
We'll do it at the end of the show.
We'll do it at the end of the show, but just call in with a question. I actually had John Bird III be like, man, I won't be able to watch it live, but I got a derby coming up, and I got a question that I need answered, so we'll also get to that one. So
JB3.
He's the one who won the, what was that called? The
Apex
Bass Games by an ounce.
It was cool.
I feel like a different man. Like I feel.
Well, you're not wearing a hat.
No, and I have no facial hair, so like I had the month on the road, right?
Yeah.
And I went like no haircut, no shit. Like you just don't even feel like a human being after fishing the 4 tournaments in 5 weeks. So I got a haircut and shaved. Yeah. I was like, I remember sport the new haircut.
Yeah.
It was weird. The lady who cut my hair, normally they ask you about like, ooh, how was your day? And they don't say much and they're just in it.
Yeah.
She walked me through the haircut. Have you ever had that? She's like, well, now I'm going...
Like play-by-play?
Yes. She's like, now I'm going to do a 1.5 on the side with a fade, and then there it goes. And now I'm going to do finger length. And then she like, I've never had anyone play-by-play a top cuts haircut before.
Can honestly say I've never been a part of that or witnessed it either.
No, it was very, like the whole time. Like I never said anything. I just sat there, but I knew exactly what she was doing.
That's kind of cool. You should have filmed that. I would have liked to have seen that.
Sport clips is what it was.
And she was doing play-by-play.
A play-by-play, the whole haircut.
Maybe that's part of the requirement. I've never been to sports clips. All right, folks, here's what we're going to do. Matt and I have a couple things we want to discuss. We'll take a break, and then we will come back with phone calls. I'll flash the number up before we go to break, and then we will take your phone calls after our first break. And you're free to ask questions. Ask Matt whatever you want to.
Ask Mark whatever you want to.
They don't care about me, dude. Oh, by the way, my soffit.
Yes, done.
Fixed. Done.
Fixed.
The dude.
It was a little. It was kind of rotten.
It was bad. It was because of the gutters being clogged up.
I was reading. I was reading something. Maybe it was Forbes or something. Anyway, about the cost of home ownership afterwards. Like I was interested in it and reading it, and they said that on average, you need to just budget yourself for the average homeowner roughly $3,000 to $4,000 a year just in
repairs,
just in home repairs, maintenance, and upkeep.
That's
and then don't spend it because then something major happens. You develop a little bit of nest egg. So then, boom! Now when you have rotting soffit, you just take it out.
That's what I do.
The kitty.
That's what I do. We have a repair account. Anyway, Jim on the instant feedback says soffit repair expensive, right, Mark? Actually, it was really reasonable. The dude did a great job. $300.
Oh wow, they were here for a while too.
Yeah, $300 is all it was, and all I had to buy was the paint. It was mainly labor. He had the wood already, and he did it for $300. So great deal. All right, folks. Couple of things to mention here before we take a break and then come back with phone calls. I am very excited to announce that I finally have my White River Marine interview set up for next week.
Background on that, just for
a lot of requests from people. I'm sure everybody is aware. If you're not, there's been a tremendous amount of turnover in the pro team of several of the White River brands, be it Ranger, Triton, what else? Nitro. I'm sure I'm missing one.
Has anyone ever ran a tracker on tour? Back in the day, was there ever a tracker?
In the day, well, actually, when you could switch out boats, you remember Tim Horton and Brian Snowden?
Yeah, they ran the Pro Style, Pro Craft, Pro Style. Was it Style or Craft when they went with the deep V's up north?
I think it was a tracker.
Oh, it was?
It was a tracker. I think so. That was many years ago. Geez, that was like 12 years ago. But I am very, very happy to announce that Kara Davidson, the Vice President of Sales for White River Marine Group, is going to be making an appearance next Tuesday right here on BTL. And I am fairly confident that nobody has been granted an interview to discuss this topic and dive into why the change in pro staff staffing. Really, hopefully get a view from her on what the industry is like right now, some of the marketing strategies behind what White River Marine is doing. And I am very, very excited. The other thing, too, we were working on getting J.P. Morris on.
Right.
Johnny Morris's son. That is still in the works. His schedule, enormously busy, but I am very, very happy to announce that until we're able to make that work with JP, Kara Davidson is going to step up and do the interview next Tuesday. So, folks, very excited about getting a senior management official from White River Marine right here on BTL. Probably not going to happen on any other podcast. So, very, very happy to announce that. All right. The other thing is, next week... oh, wait. Before I get to that, I have to mention this. And I know it's not fishing related, but I want to give this commitment to the fans, dude. And I was motivated last night because of what I watched.
Okay.
I am going to do everything I can to get a sponsor for the 20 Feet Deep project, the documentaries. I watched a documentary last night that I was absolutely moved. I did not know the situation behind this guy. It was a former NHL player. I had no idea that his life was an absolute debacle. Any idea who I'm talking about?
Bugard? Derek Bugard?
No.
No? John Kordick?
No. Played for the Detroit Red Wings and the Chicago Blackhawks.
Chris Chelios?
No. He was in it, though.
The Detroit Red Wings and the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Who did he play primarily with?
Detroit.
And the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, it was 2.5 hours.
Well, those are arch rivals.
One of the most moving
Who was it?
documentaries I've ever seen.
Who was it?
Bob Probert.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that?
No, I've seen.
Oh, my gosh, folks.
I've read about it and heard about it and stuff. Was there a bunch of traumatic brain injury stuff in that?
No, not really. They mentioned concussions a little while, but just the life that this guy had.
Yeah, that was back in the days with.
Unbelievable.
That was back with the Ty Domi bouts and the Rob Ray and the John Kordicks.
Cox.
Yeah.
Or Coxie, you remember?
Cox from the Canucks.
Yes.
Okay.
He actually played for the Tulsa Oilers.
Listen,
dude.
I was talking to Brian the Carpenter last night because Brad Holman's actually over there doing some stuff, I think, with Bass University tonight. And he went out and was fishing with Brian the Carpenter. And I was scrolling through Instagram while I was on the phone with him, and I follow like 90s hockey cards accounts because I collected hockey cards of the 90s, fantasy fishing and 90s hockey cards.
There you
if that
have it.
doesn't get your gears going, I don't know what does. But anyway, we got into this discussion, and what was his first name?
Who? Cox?
Yeah.
Craig.
Craig Cox.
Yeah.
Was the one name that I couldn't remember of the heavyweights from the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Because John Kordick died.
Yeah.
Bob Probert died.
Yeah. Died at 45. Had a heart attack.
Yep.
Guess where he died at? This was kind of eerie. Any idea?
No.
Lake St. Clair.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he played for the Hawks.
Yeah.
There's a 2.5-hour documentary. What is that on?
Oh, my God. It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay. I'm going to have to check it out.
I was, folks, the wife watched it. AJ watched it. We were glued to it. Yes, there was a lot of stuff about hockey, obviously. But the comparison, I sat there and I thought about what we did, what you and I did.
With the 20 feet deep.
With the 20 feet deeps and what we did with Robert Hamilton Jr.
Yep.
It just motivated me because there are way too many stories to be told in this game that have not been told that I think Matt and I can do. And if anybody out there knows a company that would like to get involved with this, look, yeah, we could go out and we could do it on our own dime. But it is very, very expensive. It is very time consuming to do these
You could go out and do it on your own dime.
I could.
I can't.
But once again, folks, there are so many stories to be told in this game. And I think that we have established the bar with the 20 Feet Deep series that we've done, for so many years, that there are numerous stories out there that I want to tell. It's time and money. And I think the fans thoroughly enjoyed the documentaries that we did, Matt. So I'm throwing it out there. I don't usually do it, but
That's all good.
I want to get that series started again, and I was absolutely 100% motivated based upon the documentary that my whole family watched last night. Dude, it was very, very moving. And there were so many things about Bob Probert I had no idea. I remember watching him, when they played against the Kings, and that was back when hockey was really kind of at the forefront with Gretzky and the enforcer that Gretzky had with Marty McSorley, and so many other things were going on. But the exposure being young, and you went through it. I mean, at 15, he left home. He was playing junior A. And he never graduated from high school, never went to college, and probably was one of the biggest badasses that has ever played in the NHL.
You need to watch the Derek Bugard one, too.
Yeah.
because he passed away as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of similarities.
I didn't even realize he had 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah.
And it just blew me away. And all I could think about after I watched that entire documentary was, man, we need to kick off the 20 Feet Deep
Along
series
that, you know
again.
the wormhole that I went down the other day on YouTube?
What's that?
Angler of the Year speeches at the Classic. Like Aaron's Angler of the Year speech, Polinick's Angler of the Year speech, Lucas's Angler of the Year speech.
That's a good one.
What was the other? Oh, Gerald Swindle's Angler of the Year speech.
Yeah.
You know, they get together at that black tie dinner, and you have to do a little. The Polinick and Swindle one are easy to find on that, but I mean, now you're talking, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago on those speeches. Man, that's really freaking cool. Like to see those guys talk for 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And obviously I've seen them before, but I just like went down like a 2-hour wormhole of Angler of the Year speeches.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah. Somebody was asking budget-wise. Honestly, it just depends.
That was JD.
On where we have to go to cover the subject matter. Look, it is no secret. My what pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or whatever you want to call it. What do you call it? Crown on the mountain is to do a Tony Christensen.
The crown jewel?
Yeah. Because there's never been a situation that has occurred in this game.
Never going to happen.
And it was 20 years ago.
Never going to happen.
But I have tried and tried
There's no
and tried and tried. You know what, though, Matt? Sometimes people just get to the point that they're finally over it and they want to talk about it. That does happen with people. Now, whether or not that would happen with Tony Christian, I have no idea. But I know that there are thousands of people out there that are wondering what the heck happened.
Mm-hmm.
I am. I want to know what happened. I kind of think I know what happened, but I don't know what happened.
Well, you know the Cliff Notes version of what happened.
Well, yeah, but what actually happened?
The Cliff Notes version is he won everything, then in a 2-year span, allegedly got caught cheating. It was swept under the rug, and he was told to go away and never come back, and he went away and has never come back.
Yeah.
That's the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah. And I have dug and dug and dug. I actually found out where he is, and will not return my phone calls, will not reach out. Basically, I think if I jumped on an airplane and went up there and knocked on his door,
you would get a restraining order.
Like I said, it's been 20 years, but there are so many stories that need to be told in this game, and I'm kind of biased, but I think Matt and I could do the job that
I'd like to do 3 of them because I have one
Really?
I have mine and you have yours, and then there's a couple others. I think 3 of them in a year. That gives us 4 months in between each one to drop.
I'm reading the comments.
I think it would play. Oh,
yeah.
I see. He said you could do a special 20 Feet Deep merch sale. Breaking news.
Oh, yeah, we do need to mention
Breaking
this.
news on that. So, had a lot of people who are like, man, I missed out, or my paycheck didn't come in the time. So there will be open just during the Classic. The merch store will open again just for a week, but there are going to be 2 special designs on it, and there's only going to be 100 shirts of each one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like Brandon Polinick's tourney.
Limited edition.
But one of them will be a Day 4 with Frank Scalish with the logo in the corner, and then Frank with his arms crossed in the back. It says Day 4 with Frank Scalish. So there'll be 100 of those. And it doesn't matter what size. It's just they're going to make 100. So if you're 3X, you can order. If you're in the first 100,
Right.
If you're small. The other will be... I literally got off the phone with the company that I'm working with. Catherine there is phenomenal to work with. She had been doing this email chain, and with our new emails, I hate the way it chains them, and I can't tell. So I said, can I just do this over the phone? So I said, I have an odd request. I said, we'd like to do a special shirt, and all it says on it is, my favorite color is 7, with the BTL logo underneath it. And she's like, can you repeat that? She's like, the number 7 color? And I said, yeah, and I explained to her about it. So there's going to be 100 of those.
Yeah.
100 of those, 100 of the Frank shirts. I think we're going to do an AFCO Samurai shirt. And then there's some patches left for the hats. It's going to be a little bit different color on the hat, since those gray twill ones, like I said, that was a one run of those. They can't get any more of those because of COVID till the patches are gone. So if you missed out on it, or you wanted one of those specialty shirts, we'll see. That's it.
Can we take suggestions on hat color from the fans, or are you locked in.
Yeah, no,
on a
100%.
color.
We can take suggestions on hat color.
All right. So anybody out there you want to throw out, you call in on the Sunline Hotline Show after we take a break. Give us your recommendation for a hat color on this.
Not 100 in each size, 100 total. 100 total.
Yeah.
Just 100 shirts.
100 shirts.
So we'll have more details on when that'll open. Like I said, it's only going to be open for a week because financially with me like covering it, that's the way it works for me. Then I'm not like on the hook for inventory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It works out great.
Like I told her, I was like, can we do this? Because I really can't like have $5,000 of BTL shirts sitting around and then like I turn into Phil Swift, a Flex Seal of BTL merch.
Phil Swift.
Yeah.
Oh,
it even works underwater.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Remember that? It even works underwater.
Yeah, and he's going in the little V-boat or whatever.
I'm driving in this clear bottom boat with Flex Seal with man-eating sharks. Not a single drop. It even works underwater.
That was pretty cool. He was very creative on that.
Say that for me one time.
What's that?
It even works underwater.
It even works underwater. Wow.
Oh, God.
Good stuff. All right, so...
While we're on the things we need to do, you still need to do a live stream of you bowling when you get back in the game.
Not now, man. I suck right now. I'm going to try it again this afternoon. Going to try and see. Body's feeling a little better. We'll see how it goes this afternoon. All right, man. Anything else?
No, I think we're ready to take a break, then come back, open up the Sunline Hotline. For our viewers, like I said, on the line today is a I think it's either 600 or 660. I think it's 660 yard spool of Sunline Shooter, 25-pound test, and it's brand new. It's not open. It's unused. It's not like half a spool.
It's not like
out of Mark's personal stock.
Exactly. It's not a hooded sweatshirt that I've had for 10 years.
And then a 7.4 Denali lithium multi-spin. Spinning rod. Best spinning rod of all time.
All right, hang on a second here before we go to break. I think I can leave the number up there while we're running the people that make this show possible.
The number is 405.
There we have it.
253 5543. 405 253 5543. And is it the same deal where they cannot hear me?
No, they can hear you. You're in studio.
I can hear them?
Yeah.
So we're all good?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
When you're in studio, we're good to go.
And then I'll make a list of the callers and their questions, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get there as to figure out who gets the two.
Yeah, here's the other thing, too, folks. If somebody is on the show that is called in, all right, you might get a busy signal. You might get a long ring. Just continue to call when we don't have somebody on the show. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, because I know it's like any other sports talk show. You get a little frustrated when it just rings and rings and rings and rings. But that's what we got here. So we're going to take a break. Get ready for your phone calls right here on the Sunline Hotline Show. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Ultimate fishing system starts with Lowrance HDS Live. The best fish finding tools, from chirp sonar and fish reveal to active imaging and new active target live sonar, and complete touchscreen control from your trolling motor to your big motor. For a limited time, building the ultimate fishing system will be easier on your wallet. Upgrade to HDS Live with a Ghost trolling motor, active target sonar, or live sight sonar, and save up to $800.
Basscat's legendary 20-foot platform has been paired with angler-approved accessories for 2021. Puma FTD features the proven hull used by many of the top names in bass fishing today, backed by a transferable lifetime warranty. The Puma FTD boasts a full team deck concept which enhances efficiency for you and your tournament partners. Turnkey tournament-winning performance. The Puma FTD SP from Basscat.
Let's face it, fishing electronics are no longer an afterthought. They've become a necessity. And at the Bass Take, our experts match you with the right electronics provide professional installation, and educate you to help maximize your catching results while providing support along the way. Because let's be honest, it's about catching, not just fishing. And when you're ready for better results, join the Bass Tank team. Visit us today on Facebook or go to thebasstank.com.
You've been waiting all week for this, and Sunline wants to make sure you're ready for it with bulk spools of all your favorite fishing lines.
That's so fun.
Bulk up with Sunline.
Utilizing my experience, utilizing my time on the water, evolving as an angler, and that evolution should never stop. You have to do it every day. From when you wake up in the morning, you got to be thinking about changing, continually changing every minute, every cast. That's really the premise of fishing the moment.
Everyone, Brandon Polnick here. People always be asking me what I got tied on. And I'm like, X-Zone lures. And they're like, Brandon, why you got X-Zone lures tied on? And I'm like, let me show you why.
The bite.
Get out of there! Get out of there! Oh, yeah! Oh, it's freaking big. Get in here! Oh, God. Giant. Oh, my gosh! Oh, my gosh!
I think you get the point.
All right, we are back on a Tuesday. It is the Sunline Hotline Show. And one of my favorite shows we do, man. It just is. You there? You good?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. One other thing I forgot to announce.
We have all sorts of
I know.
today.
We are bringing back the postgame show Sunday night.
For the Elite Series on Lake Gunnersville.
For the Elite Series on Lake Gunnersville, we will have a live postgame show right here with myself and Matthew, and then a guest from the final day that was actively participating in the final day. Hopefully the winner. But
you want to just tease everything else? Because there's going to be a lot more content out too, is there not, in the near future?
Yeah. I don't like teasing when we're not.
Anyway,
we're not.
One of
ready
our
to
favorite
tease
in studio guests that we had when we did a call in and did a lot of call in shows was John Suka from the Bass Tank.
Yeah. Probably the best in the business when it comes to setting up
him and his
electronics.
team setting up electronics. And then while you were out, I was like, oh, I can actually kind of run a podcast and it's not a total debacle. And there are tons of people that were like, dude, I want to know more about electronics.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see that path that we're going down.
This is going to happen. That's definitely going to happen very, very soon. So very excited to have John and his group involved.
The inside scoop on the number 7. When Mark returned from his traumatic brain injury and he was Mark and not a different personality, I simply said, I believe the line was, I was afraid you were going to come back and be like, my favorite number is 7.
No, favorite color.
Or my favorite color is 7. And then it kind of like took off into a thing. So
yeah, it's good.
But he's back. He's Mark. No side effects so far.
Well, no taste, no smell, and nerve damage on the right side.
Oh, you do have nerve damage.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like
trying to get
how
through
bad?
It's kind of like the taste smell thing. It might come back. I'm doing nerve therapy and doing some things, but who knows, man? Just a bad deal, freak deal. All right, you ready to go to the phones, Matthew? You got your list ready?
Yes, I'm good to go. Let's go to the phones. We've had a caller on the line. So name and state, too, just so I can make sure we get it right in case we have multiple names. So we got Jacob. Did you say Jake? You were rocking rock music so loud I couldn't hear it. You don't understand. Like when Jeffries is there, I'm trying to talk to him in between. It's just like blaring rock music.
Well, no,
in our
and the
headsets.
commercials too.
Like it's It's all that you hear between your ears.
Yeah, somebody didn't like my heavy metal. Did you see that comment?
Well, that's
enough
tough.
of the heavy metal.
That's tough. That's you. It's always been you. It always will be you.
Yeah. I'll be 80 years old and still headbanging. All right, let's go to the phones. Hey, who is this? You're on BTL.
This is Jake from Snow Hill, Maryland. My question is for the comeback kid. In a tournament situation, Matt, when you're deciding what rod to use, what line to use on your finesse setup, how do you choose between, say, a 6.5 and a 7.5 foot rod? And what is the determining factor on what line size to put on?
It's good stuff. Yeah.
I'll start it. It's very easy. I'm going to use 2 rods. If I'm in close quarters, like if I'm skipping docks, if I have a lot of overhanging trees, if there's impediments around or I'm making shorter casts, I'm going with a 7-foot rod. I use a 7-foot Denali. I think it's a medium heavy, typically because I want to be able to pull those fish out, right? It's not like a drop shot with a super soft tip and a big deep bend in it. Now, like this past tournament, if I'm in open water, like I'm pitching to a cypress or I'm offshore with the drop shot, like I said, I like a little bit longer rod because I fish it a lot. And if you hook a big one, I just like having the longer rod. That 7.4, you can kind of lean into them a little bit better. You can fight them a little bit better. It gives you a little bit more kind of shock absorbent and when you get it closer to the boat. And then line size. Now, here's the thing that I do a little bit differently, and I'm sure there's a bunch of guys that do this on tour, but like I go between 6 and 15 pound test on my leader, and it just depends on how the fish are biting. So I'll start with 8 all around, like just a standard drop shot, open water, not a lot of stuff going on. 8 pound test is what I stick to. Don't fish a lot of 6. That's just asking for problems. I'll probably have to when I go up north to Oneida and St. Clair. But one of the things that I've started doing a lot over the past 4 or 5 years, and you're in these fields that have massive fields, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to fish a finesse presentation, but you're also fishing heavy cover and pitching into stuff, whether it's with a wacky worm or a chicken rig or a little drop shot. But I want to be able to set the hook, get those fish out, and if you can't use nets, boat flip the smaller fish and be able to handle a bigger fish to where it can't own you. And if you're pitching to these things, you're pitching a finesse bait to areas where a lot of guys are flipping. So you're talking 16, 18, 20, 22 pound test line that these guys are using. I'll go up to 12 or 14 pound test on my leader. And that gives me a lot better way to get the fish, hook the fish, get it away from the cover, and then I can boat flip all those 2.5 pounders. You can see at Douglas, I was getting bit on the 10, I was getting bit on the 8 and the 10, so I went up to a 12, and then I was able to just boat flip them instead of letting them flop around at the side of the boat. There's a lot of guys that are like, have made a living on the finesse stuff that have different theories on it. That's just how I do it. So, like, I mean, I'm on the James River, and I'm throwing a 7.4 medium heavy rod with 12 pound test braid. I just like that thinner style braid. Some guys go up bigger, but I just like that with a 14 pound test leader. So it looks like I'm finesse fishing with a drop shot. I'm basically flipping, but I'm just using a spinning rod in the way I beef it up. So that's how I decide on it.
All right. Good stuff. Anything else, man?
Great advice. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for calling, man. All right. There you have it, man. Phone's blowing up. Sorry, folks, about the little noise there.
Yeah, I thought you had that taken care of.
Well, I did. Hang on here. Good grief. Oh, I just hung up on that person.
Do you remember the area code so they could call back?
Yeah. Sorry about that. It was a weird looking screen. I didn't understand why it looked that way, so I just started clicking on numbers. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hello.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. You're golden.
Hey, sorry, I'm getting an echo back from you guys, so I couldn't tell. Hey, this is Leighton from North Carolina.
What's up, Leighton?
Hey, yeah, hey, I got a question. I've been following you guys on doing the open stuff.
Yep.
And My question was, I fished the BFL as a co-angler forever, jumped in the front of the boat last year.
Yep.
How much does fishing the BFL as a boater translate to opens, like in field size and experience and all? Is there any translation or not really at all?
I would say absolutely there's a translation. I mean, I started in the BFL 2, and I remember, so the first year I fished the BFLs was 2013. And I've only fished them 1 year just because of how the schedule lined up for me and stuff. But I just remember I kind of had the first feeling in the BFLs that I did when I first started fishing the opens. You learn the only difference is in the open, you have multiple days, right? Mm-hmm. So you have day 1 and day 2. Plus you have a larger field with more anglers that are practicing longer. So your fishery is impacted more in the opens. You have a lot of guys that are practicing 4 or 5 days in advance, and they cover all the water. So like if you're in the Chickahominy River that's 60 miles from where you guys are taking out of, like you can outrun some of the field, but you can't really outrun the field in the opens. Where in the BFL, you typically have a lot of guys who are at home, close to home. They might practice Thursday, Friday, get a day and a half of practice. And then it's a 1-day deal. So your strategy in the opens, it has to be a little different because you have to figure out fish for 2 days and how the pressure is going to affect them. Now, the practice pressure affects them in a BFL too, but it's basically like an open or a Toyota series on a micro level. It's a great learning field. It's the closest, in my opinion, it's the closest thing you can do to get ready to fish that next step. Would you agree, Mark?
I agree. Really good
Makes sense?
analysis.
Well, hey, I appreciate it, Matt. And I came to the James River to watch you weigh in, but I missed you. So we're pulling for you. And good luck, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, dude. I appreciate that. What day did you come?
I came on Friday. I work in North Carolina, live in Pennsylvania, and I was driving up 95, and I come around 295 and saw the boats running back for the weigh-in. And I was like, darn, I wonder how close I am to that boat ramp, because I put in there before in a BFL, and I was like 7 minutes away. And I was like, well, darn, I'm going to come. And I sat down there for like 2 hours, and I saw Bradley Hallman weigh in and spoke to him. But you must have been in a later flight, and I had to get home.
Yeah, Brad was like first flight. He weighed in at like 2.
Yeah, there was a real advantage in the later flights in that deal. I never thought about the fields being, one guy's weighing in at 2 and one guy's weighing in at 5. They got like 3 more hours to fish.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, there's just a lot more game planning in the open, because it is. I mean, you've got a 4-hour difference in flights. So
yeah. All right, man. Thanks for the call.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Layton. Can we get the clicking taken care of?
I'm working on it.
How did you do it before?
Well, I just hit the mute button, but I don't want to miss any comments that the callers might have.
Right.
I'm working on it, dude. I'm trying to. It's been a while.
I mean, it sounds like
Space Invaders. Remember
and
that?
You got to
game?
get your chair fixed too, Mark.
Yeah, it's the bottom. What?
Just wiggle a little bit in your chair. I mean, this is BTL here. This is BTL. You're coming off a traumatic brain injury with nerve damage.
Dude, I've had these chairs for like 20 years.
Perched on a computer chair that at any point could disintegrate?
No, it's just the bottom part.
Oh, just the part that that allows you to sit?
No, I'm sorry. All right, let's go to the phones. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hey, this is Cameron from Mississippi, guys. How's it going?
Going good, man. What's on your mind?
Oh, man, I just wanted to get y'all's opinion. I see a lot of different people talk about during a pre-fish on a tournament whether or not you should actually fish with hooks and hook them and get them to the boat, or whether you should fish with lures without hooks and just shake them off. I just wanted to get y'all's opinion on that.
All right, Matt?
I think Cameron was sitting in our camper when Bradley and Andrew Upshaw and I, because we had this talk, and literally Upshaw looked at Hallman and he goes, I don't think people realize how few fish we catch in practice.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, this last one on the James River, all 3 of us were shaking fish off on Saturday afternoon, and the tournament started on Thursday. Once you understand what you're around and the quality you're around, why are you going to catch those fish? That's one of the toughest things about the opens too, because it's just you pay your entry fee and get in, right?
Yeah.
So like, let's say you go down a stretch and you get 8 bites and shake them off, and it's a Tuesday. And then you get on social media and see a dude with the same background who's like 6-pounder. And you're like, dude, what are you doing? Hallman will say this, and I'll actually speak for him on this. He said the biggest difference between the amateurs and the pros is the pros know how to assess the health of a fishery and whether you need to catch them to see what you're on or shake fish off.
Yeah.
And they know how to preserve that going into day one. And the lower level guys decimate it before the tournament starts and then wonder why the hell they don't catch them.
Frank actually did it day 4. That
a whole thing on that.
He talked about that.
It's like different. So like Douglas Lake this year, like I had to set the hook because you were getting so many bites and they all were the same size. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was burning through $1.50 knowing that's not going to make a difference until I got some more quality and then started shaking them off. But when you've got stuff and you're flipping and it goes doom and starts slow swimming.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, dude, there's a lot of guys at higher levels that don't really talk about it, but there's all sorts of ways to cover moving baits.
Yeah.
With shrink wrap tubing, spinnerbait tubing, baits that you ruin by cutting the hook off to where you're going, there's a bite.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a reaction bite, and you don't know how big it was or anything, but you know, those are fish that you have more of a tendency to hook, you know, on a spinnerbait, a chatterbait, a plug, something like that. I remember Alton Jones one time was talking about how and I did a story on it on how he practices with a crankbait sometimes. And he'll take the crankbait and he'll fold all the hooks into where he does it, and then he'll leave one hook on. He'll smash the barb down and then open it up. So when he gets a bite on a crankbait, boom, he loads up on it. He can tell how big it is. That fish shakes his head. He gives it slack, comes off.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's freaking brilliant.
That's good stuff. All right, man. Anything else?
No, that's it, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
All right, man. Take care. That was good stuff there. Let's see here. Oh, geez.
I feel like we're winning a video game.
Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this? Hello.
Hey, I got a great question, and I think it's a good idea, but it's for both of y'all.
All right, who is this? Who is this?
This is Damon from Chattanooga.
All right. Fire away, man.
All right. How about a Bassmaster team tournament? Just one, sort of like a gimmick tournament, but let the professional fishermen maybe pick their partner, and then, you know, before the tournament, let them go online on Bassmaster.com like one evening so everybody could tune in live and give the partner pairings, and like have Greg Hackney, you know, sitting there and they're like, okay, you're one of the participants, who's going to be your partner? And he says, my partner's going to be Jason Christie. And then everybody else starts puking. You know, they're like, oh, God, no, not that team. Hey, have Matt Robertson fish with Taco Ito. Have the Johnston brothers have the Johnston brothers fish together and get in a fist fight and argue all day. It would be freaking awesome.
Well, they just won the Sturgeon Bay Open with like 70 pounds in 2 days. So I think you got to put one of the Johnsons with Tommy Biffle.
Oh yeah, that would be
Finesse
great.
Canadian versus Oklahoma Power.
That's good stuff. All right, what do you think?
Have a couple of legends teams. That'd be sweet too.
Yeah. All right, what do you think, Matt?
Good Lord.
Sorry.
This is your question, Mark. This is what you live for. Questions
no.
like
All right,
these.
here, let me say this right now, because I have talked about a need for a national high dollar team trail, very similar to what takes place with the 3 trails or 3 organizations that are already out there. I don't know if you know about this. I got an email from Clyde Glenn, and it is the subject, he says, TTO. He says, I know this isn't exactly the team trail you wanted to see, but it has a $1,000 entry fee and has a $700 side pot. 3 events. Do you know about this, Matt? 3 events. The first event is on Texoma.
The Texas team?
No. It's not it. It's something different.
I know they have a 50 boat one up in Minnesota that sounds like this.
No. It's only three events. One in Oklahoma. Well, kind of Oklahoma, Texas. And then 2 in Texas. One is at Sam Rayburn, and I can't remember where the other one is. But $1,000 entry fee. Now, getting back to his question, I think the fans would thoroughly enjoy. It would be entertaining. It would be educational if they really did have that one single event every year where the guys teamed up and competed against each other.
Like they did with the TTBC.
Exactly.
Back in the day. Yeah. That was what it was designed for, that exact theory. And then it just morphed into
what it is today. Yeah.
But that was fun. Those guys still talk about it. The original team, I think Kelly Jordan and Big Dave Smith and all those guys were on it, and they would work together.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. All right, man. Great question.
Pull some strings, make it happen.
Pull some strings. All right, man.
Damon.
Thanks for calling. All right, I will say this. I have received a lot of feedback about bringing back fish and chips. And there have been a couple of suggestions on making it to where the general fans or the general public would pay X amount of dollars to team up with specific pros.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually taking a look at that. I don't know. Would you pay X amount of dollars, fans, to fish with certain individuals that are out there on both tours? Because I'm sure we would have actually all three. I'm sure
I lined it out to you, dude.
Yeah.
Hallman and I had 19 hours to drive to Virginia.
Yeah.
We spent 3 of those hours lining out the ultimate BTL getaway fishing tournament.
Fish and chips?
With no. There's no chips
poker?
involved. It's
no
just
poker?
It's just fishing, but the basis of it is you get teamed. You know who the pros are. You come in, you get teamed. It's a random draw. It's a U.S. Open style tournament to where the non-professionals fish against the other non-professionals. Yeah. There's a pot to it. It's a 5-day experience. There's some seminars in the night. You fish with one pro on one day of practice and then a different pro each day. And we bring in BTL guys, man.
That would be cool.
We get Dean Rojas in there.
Yeah.
We get Frank Scalish coming down. I fish it. Bradley Hallman fishes it. We get Kenyon Hill to fish it. You fish it. And then every night it's a random draw. And then you get all the sponsors involved, and they give stuff to where, you're paying what you would pay for a week at Kentucky Lake or your week at Gunnersville for your getaway trip, and you and your buddies sign up and you come for this week and you fish the BTL tournament.
Yeah.
Now, that's the basis of it. It takes 3 hours to line out all the details.
Probably more than that.
But I would think maybe we could do that. That would be freaking fun. Hallman and I were like, hell yeah, we would love that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
And then if you're in a co-angler who doesn't have a boat, then all you have to do is fly in. And since you're with your pro's weight that day, you can use my stuff.
Hey, make that happen.
Dude, you know my organizational skills, Mark.
Make that happen.
You know
Matthew.
my organizational skills. Do you really want me to be in charge of that?
Make that happen.
Do you really?
That's another project.
You've done fish and chips for 10 years. You know how that happens.
That's another project.
You know how to butter up the PR people in the casinos and get deals on rooms.
It's not buttering up. It's just communication. I don't know. We got some stuff in the works for 2021. We'll see. All right, let's go to the phones. Hey, who is this? You there? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, who is this?
Yeah. This is Ray from Ohio.
Ray, what's on your mind today?
I was just wanting to tell you that I'm glad to see you're back good from your little mishap and doing well.
Thank you.
And I was wondering if possibly we could get Mr. Frank there to do a show on the Ohio River fishing.
All right, I will get with Frank on that. And
that'd be a depressing show.
And see, actually, I received an email from a fan. I actually forwarded it on.
I would be very interested in it, though.
And I was a little confused because I just know it is a very, very tough fishery. But the dude had a pick of a 7-pound smallmouth that he caught out of the Ohio River.
Well, I think there's a lot of, and Ray, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but there's a lot of different sections of the Ohio River. Like the one that goes through, there's different sections that fish differently, and some are way more productive than others, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll ask him. I'll ask him, and then we'll let you know, man. All right?
Alrighty.
All right, man. Take care. Thanks for calling.
Oh,
you got another? What else?
What else? When are you going to get your little music deal going again?
School is out. That is in the works. I would say, if I had to predict, probably over the next 2-3 weeks. Music show is going to happen. It's going to be in the evening, and I'm already putting tunes together for it, man. Already working on it.
Good deal.
All right?
Good deal.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
Keep up
Thanks
the good work.
Thanks, man.
Hey, if we take a commercial break, can you spend 3 minutes to get that fixed? I say that in all seriousness, Mark.
No, I don't know. What happens is that noise is from people calling. People calling and then hanging up. That is the, hey, you missed a call sound.
How'd you get it quiet before?
I don't remember, dude.
There's got to be a mute button.
Well, that's what I was trying to use.
Like a DJ over there?
I'm not spinning anything over
No,
here.
you
man.
got the slide bar going up and down?
No, there's a mute button, and that's what I've been pushing right there. All right, let's take a couple more, and then we'll take a break and see if I can figure something out. Let me see here. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hey, guys. JD, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, JD?
Hey, I said the guy that brought up the Ohio River thing, that just kind of sparked my curiosity of what you might think of why somebody like, Polnick from Idaho and, Wheeler from Indiana, not, major bass fishing areas, are, pretty much dominating in their division, or, the elites or the opens and stuff like that. And I just wonder what you're thinking.
I mean, I think that if you look at those guys, they learned how to fish really tough fisheries. Polnick, if you actually listen to what he says, that Coeur d'Alene lake that he fishes is like the most underrated, and it's absolutely insane. But a lot of those guys left really early in their lives and started fishing a wide variety of fisheries in their teen years. And I think that more so than where they grew up is how early and how dedicated they were to learning a variety of different fisheries. But I mean, I think there is something to be to it. I remember in 2012 when Gerald Swindle fished the All-Star event on Lake Decatur in Shelbyville, he said, "Good Lord, if anyone from Central Illinois ever makes it, we are all screwed, because if they figure out how to catch the 7 bass here, you don't want to put them on a lake that actually has them."
Wow.
Yeah, that's for sure. And unfortunately, here in Illinois, probably Newton's the best lake that we have around here for big bass. And I was there yesterday, and it's a 25 horsepower limit. So
you caught a big one, dude. I saw you caught a freaking monster, didn't you?
Oh, dude, weightless Senko, and barely could feel it. It was like, boom, like, oh, my line's swimming, and then just set the hook, and it's like, oh, this is a beast. Yeah, that fish had some shoulders on it.
How long was it? See, I know he was kayak fishing, and that he's got a board, so I asked for the length of the fish, like it's Trout Talk Live.
It was 18 3/4, but I mean, she was post spawn, so the tail there's probably like an inch off the tail. So yeah, it was easy, probably 5.5, 6 pounds.
That's awesome.
Very nice, man.
How's the kayak shop going? Having a good year on the kayak so far?
Dude, if I could get boats in, I'd be doing a lot better. But the last 2 months were really good, but now the manufacturers are anywhere from, on the short side, 4 weeks to even 12 weeks. I've got April orders that aren't going to be here till June. So.
Wow. Monticello, right?
Yes, sir.
Monticello, Illinois. JD's. If you need a kayak and you're in that area, the dude supports fishing. He knows fishing. You can even pick up BFEs at the shop too. But that's your kayak stop in that portion of the country right there. No doubt, guys.
Good stuff. Thanks for calling, JD.
Denali. Yeah, Denali.
You got the Denali
as well, man.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, man. Take care.
All right. So JD was our 6th caller. We got to take a break. We got to get this handled. It's driving me nuts, Mark. This is worse than the Aaron Martin's cat show.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. I'd rather hear meowing cats for 15 minutes straight. I mean, I'm not busting your balls. I know you got everything working. But here's the thing. I know there's a fix to it, right?
I'm going to try and figure it out.
We'll be back after an 11-minute commercial break.
No, not that long. All right, everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
pro-inspired, pro-designed. Tested and proven by legends on the water. Dominating the tournament trail for over 50 years. Everything you need, one legendary brand. Strike King.
Hey guys, Major League Fishing Pro, Jacob Wheeler here with my new Signature Series line of rods with Duck It Fishing. We have my 7.2 cranking rod right here. Crankbaits can be very fickle, and having the right, having a lot of tip can be too much, and having not enough tip can, lose a lot of fish. So you really got to be careful. If there's one or two techniques that I'm really adamant about having the perfect action as a crankbait, especially like a square bill, a DT6, those medium running crankbaits in the springtime when those fish's mouth are pretty tough. That's when I'm really on top of having my actions just perfect.
Big companies get bigger and bigger and talk about their fancy labs where they study fish behavior, but then they all go golfing on the weekend. We don't have a large laboratory to test baits. Why, you ask? We don't need a big laboratory because our pros fish, our employees fish, our salespeople fish, our suppliers fish, our mold builders fish, our owners fish, and our kids fish. This is our laboratory. Our R&D comes from time on the water, learning how to make fish bite. All that time on the water brings us thousands of hours of testing new products and improving current ones for all species.
All of us on the Pro Tournament Trail use Gamakatsu hooks.
Why?
Because they are absolutely the best.
It's not about how many bites you get.
It's how many you put in the boat.
Gamakatsu makes hooks for every fishing style.
We didn't come this far to lose fish.
Did you?
For more information, visit gamakatsu.com.
Guys, what makes our Spro lures beat the competition?
I mean, you have to admit, we nailed it with my McSticks and rock crawlers.
Man, we've all won money on my plugs.
My Wamic shop put fish in my boat.
One thing's for sure, we all count on our Spro lures to beat the competition.
Designing cutting-edge baits with some of America's top anglers. Spro lures beat the competition. To see the entire lineup, visit a retailer near you or spro.com.
The Ned Rig. What rod should I be using with the Ned Rig? My favorite is the Denali Lithium multi-spin rod. It's our 7'4" length, great Ned Rig rod. It's got a great sensitive tip on it. It's long enough where I can make long casts, which you're usually fishing clear water with a Ned Rig, and it's got enough backbone to get those fish in. So check it out, Denali Lithium Series, 7'4" multi-spin.
All right, we are back, and I think I might have fixed it. I guess we'll find out.
We'll know in about 20 seconds, Mark.
The number's up there. Sunline Hotline number 405-253-5543. And hopefully I've solved the issue, but let's go to the phones now. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hey, Mark and Matt. This is Adam from Colorado. How are you guys?
Adam. Obviously, it didn't work. Not you, the little buzzing sound or whatever it is. I'm sorry, man.
Okay.
What's on your mind?
Hey, guys, I was just curious, with all the competitiveness in the Opens and all the guys trying to make the elites and all that kind of a thing. What are your guys' thoughts on the perfect number of Elite Series competitors? When are they going to start calling guys, and what is that number? Where should it be at?
All right, Matt?
I'm answering everything. What do you think? I like 100 even.
For the Elite Series?
Yep.
I think 80 is a good number.
I can still hear music in the background too, Mark.
Can you really?
No.
How about now?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we could do the whole show with rock music in the background. I'm fine with it, but it was just the right level where I was like, "Is that?"
I apologize.
Is that rock?
No, I
music?
think 80 is the right number.
You think 80?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've said this all along, and I'm going to continue to preach this. Actually, I think I'm going to reevaluate that. If you had a PTQ, a Pro Tour qualifier, all right, the number needs to be 85. You give up 5 spots in every event for people that earn their way into that event. 85. I think 85 is a good number. Now, what about the open number? What's a good number for the opens? Max size field.
It doesn't matter.
Come on, man. Seriously, in a perfect world, what is the right number for an open max size
Well,
field?
if you want to do a perfect world, there's a level in between the Opens and the Elite Series that you have to qualify for to fish for, and a level where the Elite Series guys who get knocked out don't have to go down to purgatory in the Open. So you could have an 85 boat Elite Series. You could have a 60 or 70 boat intermediate series that they do a bunch of different things around, and then you have the Opens that now you've taken 60 or 70 guys who would have been in the Opens that are now up at that level, and you cap the open field at 200 boats.
Yeah, I like that idea. So there you have it, man.
Right. Would be to make the elites and then not then get kicked back down, and then you're in trouble to try and make it again. If it's 200.
Because you're talking 3 out of 225 in each field. Now, I will say that intermediate level, not 100% my idea. There may or may not be some other guys that are fishing the Opens that are really, really trying to see if there is an avenue for that to be a possibility, Mark.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, man. Anything else?
Nice. No, you guys have a good day.
All right, man. Take care. All right, here. I'm gonna try something else here real quick.
At this point.
Okay. Let's see if that works.
If it's one click like you just did.
Yeah. Ooh. I have no idea why the ring deal's coming in. All right, let's try it now and see if this works. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hey, Mark. This is Nate in Pennsylvania.
Hi, man. What's on your mind?
Nothing much. Hey, Panger, we actually spoke before. I'm a fellow casting kids. State champ from. We spoke on Instagram about we were in Knoxville together in '98.
Yep, I remember that. You called it. We relived the glory days. I mean, I got the trophy right. Like, no, watch this, folks. This is no joke.
He does have the trophy. Let's see here. There it is, right there.
There it is. Right there. There's the Casting Kids National Championship trophy with the Knoxville medallion from the regional. That's the
well, I'll have to live vicariously through you because I bombed that event. I'm sorry. But yeah. Anywho, so I didn't catch any of today's show, but I had to call after listening to yesterday's this morning. In no way was the co-angler situation your fault. I mean, I've only been fishing as a co for a year on the club level and just starting up BFLs this year. And never once would I think that's okay. And I don't think anyone should think that's okay. So don't put that on yourself. I had to tell you that because that's absolutely silly.
Thank you. Cool. I'm not putting it on myself. What I am putting myself on is that I didn't voice it early when it first started, which then is not on the co-angler either. So it's not his fault. It is my fault because I am the captain of the boat. It's my decision. Like I said, I'm not putting anything on him. That was on me. That was my fault. I disagree with you there, Nate. That was my fault.
Yeah.
That was 100% my fault.
I would never take that inch to see if I could take a mile in my shoes, and obviously he did, and that sucks, but I don't know. Next time, take him out to the middle of the lake and give him hell, I guess.
There you have it. All right, man. Thanks for the call.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, see you. All right, I've got the noise changed now. I don't know why it did that. It's not that annoying Space Invaders noise anymore. All right, here, let's go back to the phones. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this? Hello. He's not answered. Hello. You're on BTL. Who is this?
This is Austin from Alabama.
Austin, what's on your mind?
Hey, I wanted to get Matt's take on what a lot of the top guys are doing as far as their nutrition and stamina, I guess, for these long events, like what they're doing to hold up, like, practicing days straight, by the time you count practice and the event, I mean, how these guys hold up so well, I guess, mentally and physically. It's always been something that's piqued my interest of how these guys do it that long.
It's a good question. Matt?
That's all over the board, dude. You got guys who get off the water, slam 6 beers, eat a cinnamon roll, go to bed. And you got guys like Carl who's out there just punishing a kettlebell till about 11 p.m. and then jogging 6 miles. It's a wide range. And you see guys win who don't work out or do anything. You see guys win who have a strict regiment. It's one of the reasons why I think there's a healthy discussion as to whether or not it's a sport or not, right? But as far as the stamina, one of the things that I found, like I said, I think I fished like 28 out of 32 days. Man, you just kind of get in a groove where it just doesn't bother you. You just kind of over and like the first couple weeks hurt, and then your arm will hurt or your leg will hurt or something. But then it's just like anything else. It's just like your bowling mark.
Yeah.
To where you're like, eight games. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be in a body cast. But then once you do it over again, you just get used to it. Your body gets accustomed to it. It's just like working out. Like the first couple of times you work out, you just can't move.
Is he still there? Oh, crap.
What?
It was on John Cruz that hooked him up like to some nutrition guy, and it said that he burned more calories than a marathon runner in a day. I tried to find it, but I couldn't find it. But
that would have been Ken Hoover. Ken Hoover is a sports nutritionist who used to. I don't know if he's still out there, but he was on the deal, and he would hook a bunch of guys up and had different nutrition for them and stuff.
Yeah,
that was interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Austin. Are we winning the Galactic War Mark?
All right, I'm working on it. I don't know what to say, man. I guess I need to do a test drive for the next Sunline Hotline Show. Either that or something's happened in the upgrades and all that stuff and everything. Because I did the 2 things that I remember, but they're not working. And I don't know why they're not working. Can't tell you.
All right 10th call of the day.
Back to the phones. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hello, Matt and Mark. Mark, my name is Bruce, and I'm from Michigan.
Bruce, what's on your mind?
About the hat. You guys are talking about the hat logos.
Yep.
And I was thinking you guys should do a gray digital camo, then have the BTL green patch on the front of it.
It's a good idea.
All right. I kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of the green.
I'm a fan of the digital camo.
Yeah. There you have it. Solved.
Good stuff, Bruce.
What else? Anything else, man?
What are you guys' predictions for the next Elite Series on Gunnersville?
All right. Matt, you can go first.
You go first. You've actually talked to guys fishing in it, Mark.
Now, this
ad
is
nauseam, like at length.
This is going to be a plethora of whatever these guys want to do. You're going to have fish on beds. You're going to have fish that are post-spawn. You're going to have a topwater bite. You're going to have a frog bite. You're going to have an out bite. They're going to be able to do whatever they want to do. Now, are the Alabama guys going to have an edge, the HFA? The answer is yes, but at the same time, it might hurt them, unlike typical HFAs when there's kind of a grind. Here's the other factor. I predict, Matthew, we're going to see somebody that is going to find something during practice that is somewhat unique for Gunnersville that they're going to be able to capitalize because there are so many patterns and so many techniques to be able to do this week on Gunnersville that the playing field is much more level, in my opinion, when you have this kind of situation that is very rare, that you have multiple patterns and multiple techniques, that you might have some guys that are going to stumble and work really hard to find something that's kind of off the grid. And you take that and add in to what is truly in play on the lake. And it is going to be a fantastic week. It is going to be an entertaining week to watch. And I think the topwater bite's going to prevail once again, Matthew. It's kind of the year of the topwater.
I agree. Well stated. I see Michael there saying, how could you possibly limit the field of the Open? What would be the cut process? They are limited right now. It is 225 in each field. There is a process of guys who finished at the top get back in. Then you have sponsor exemptions that get in.
Yeah.
Then you have Bass Nation and Life members who get in. And then it opens to the general public, and you're on the phone, and it's a debacle to call in and get registered. And then you're on waiting lists. There are long, long waiting lists for each division of the Bassmaster Opens, and that's part of the reason.
Hey, next week we're going to talk a little bit more about that, because there is what I feel a solution that helps all parties involved. And when I say all parties involved, the sponsors, the organization, and the anglers. Those are the three people you got to take care of. All right?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
But I'm just saying, if there's a waiting list, why would you change what you're doing?
There's a reason. All right? We'll get into it next week.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, man?
No, but thank you guys, and take care. I love the show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right. There you have it.
Just the breaking news.
Do what?
Kentucky Derby trainer Bob Baffert suspended after winning horse Medina Spirit fails drug test.
Cheater.
The validity of the horse trainer's victory at the 2021 Kentucky Derby depends on the results of a second drug test.
Yeah. Have you seen some of the stuff that he was involved with in drugging situations before? Dude, there was one instance that he said that the horse was contaminated and influenced the drug test that was done on this horse because of a worker taking cough syrup. That was his explanation. Because the worker took cough syrup, somehow, some way, the horse picked up on it.
Tested positive for beta-methasone.
Yeah.
It's like an anti-inflammatory drug.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hey, Mark. Hey, Matt. It's Ned from Toronto calling. How are you guys?
Hey,
Ned.
How are you, man? What's on your mind?
I'm good. Thanks, man. I just want to make a couple comments and then a question for you guys. So one, the other week when I was watching Bassmasters Live on Sunday morning, if I wasn't tuned into, and I knew I was watching, Bassmasters Live streaming on my phone, when they were running the commercial breaks, I thought I was listening to BTL because their music choice is the same stuff you guys are playing. So they must be taking notes from you guys, I think.
That's pretty funny.
Hats off to you guys for the, setting the trend.
All right.
And my question now is, let's just say Mike Sukan, he was doing the Bassmasters Live in the morning while Zona, Mercer, and Davey Height, they're doing the FS1 stuff. Mm-hmm. Let's say if Mike happened to call you guys up and say, hey, why don't you guys join me on Saturday and Sunday mornings to host Bassmasters Live? Would you guys be up to it?
Matt?
Dude, I'm at the point in my career where you show me the money and I'll do it.
Well, you did it for FLW.
I did. They showed me the money.
Yeah. So he's done it before. Me, I think I'm kind of past my prime. I might dabble my toes in the pool. It's not about the money.
Plus,
and
you got to give credit to Ronnie. Ronnie started this thing as like an intern, fresh out of ECU, wasn't sure what was up. And, dude, they have groomed him, and he's worked with Tommy and Zona, and that guy kicks butt now. Like, he does a hell of a job, and I say that in all seriousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. But you see he's busy, so he's jumping back and forth, and I just thought to help Mike. Mm-hmm. He's a great guy. He does a great job, too.
Such.
A lot of statistics, etc.
Yeah,
the Such. So I just thought, Matt, since you're a statistics kind of guy, if you and Jeffries teamed up with Such on Sunday morning, I know your schedule's busy too, but I thought you guys would just knock it out of the ballpark, right?
That's a great idea, but here's the other thing that I like too. It's kind of like the live mix, and Such comes in and gives some context to it, but man, I also like sitting there and watching those guys fish without any noise in the background.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that I think kind of makes that feed, if you can't watch the FS1 feed, organic. And Such does a great job on that too.
Here's the other thing too. And Matt and I have done this show for a long, long time. We kind of have our own style that's kind of been separate from what some of the other people have done and are doing. And I think the characteristics of how Matt and I interact really is what makes BTL along with the fans. Can we continue really what we've done over these years in that format? I don't know. Hence, that's part of the reason why we're doing the post-game show at the end of the Elite Series events, because now we bring it BTL style, but at the same time, we have the support of Bass that is really behind trying to make sure that this post-game show really goes off well. And we could not do that without the support of the management at Bass and with the approval of the people at Bass and the help of Emily. I mean, she busts her tail helping us out, trying to get guests lined up for that post-game show. So I think what Matt and I do is BTL. And if Matt wants to dip his toes in that pool, I don't think there's anybody out there that would be better at jumping in the pool with those guys over at Bassmaster.
I think they've got it dialed in.
They do.
If it ain't broke, why fix it? Why would you add someone? I mean, there's not an element of that production that I feel is lacking in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And the only reason I said that was only to give back to hosts and shows like yourself that support the anglers, support Bass, etc. Right? Like I know Emily's doing already stuff with you guys with the post game show, and that was the only reason I threw that out there.
No, I appreciate it. That's a compliment.
Yeah,
you gonna be at the Classic this year?
Unfortunately, borders are closed. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it down.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Well, remember we met at the Classic. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Did you see Jim's comment? Mark would go off on a rant while trying to hear the
fisherman talk.
Not true. Not true. All right, man.
The other night show. One last comment. The other night show with Gerald Swindle, the G-Man, just simply amazing. The stuff that he talked about. If people, the BTL fans, if they didn't go back and listen to the podcast, do so. The amount of information, just simply amazing. I couldn't stop watching it. It was just. I'm going to go back and watch it one more time.
Yeah, it was really, really good stuff. And granted, the personality of Gerald Swindle, it is apparent that he is a superstar in this game. And a lot of it is due to his personality and what he does on and off the water. But that show was all Gerald Swindle, the teacher. And you can learn so much from that show. It was amazing, and I can't thank him enough for going out of his way. And that whole show came about because of a request from several BTL fans. And I contacted Gerald and Leanne, and I said, hey, can you guys do this? The fans want to hear it. And he said, heck yeah. And the other thing that's really cool about that whole show, and I'm glad you brought this up, is I received emails back from people that applied what Gerald told them to do, and they sent me pictures of 5 and 6 pounders that they caught on a buzzbait. That's cool. That is so gratifying. And I sent that information to Gerald, and he just sent it back with like a dozen thumbs up. And that's what Gerald's about. He's about so many things, but the teaching style that he has and the way that he can go in depth on what he is doing and then throw in a little bit of the Gerald, the G-Man personality, that's why he's an unbelievable superstar in this game.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for taking my call. All the best to you guys. Keep up the great work.
All right, man. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, see you.
See you, none.
Yeah. Good dude, man.
Here's a real quick one. We can knock this out again. Patrick says, hey, can't call in due to work. Have a question idea. Don't you think it'd be cool if we take the top 30 guys from each of the 3 major leagues and have an all-star tournament? Once again, that literally was already done with the TTBC for a number of years. Not only that, but they did it in Texas. Toyota sponsored it, and they brought in people like Luke Bryant, Little Big Town.
Yeah.
They had a double-decker liquor stand set up. It was a no-entry fee. It paid $150,000 to win with a crystal vase.
Didn't you do the gamer?
I did. I did all the media for that for a number of years.
Yeah.
It was a big time. Everyone was there. They waited right until the concert to weigh the guys in with their overs. There were literally 10 or 15,000 people, and these guys hold the fish up, and everybody's there for the concert. Goes nuts for this dude in the back of the Toyota. It was like a massive festival.
Yeah.
It was the deal. Everyone wanted to finish in the top 15. There were people who fished the PAA circuit just to make the TTBC.
Yeah.
Obviously, something happened there with economic feasibility as far as bringing it all together, but it was a jam for 5 or 6 years. It was the only time you got to see Kevin Van Dam fish against Andy Morgan.
It was good. It was really, really good. All right, back to the phones. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hey, this is Keith White from Western Kentucky.
Keith, what's on your mind, man?
Well, I'm just calling one more time to help Matt out here. Matt, with your co-angler situation, that was not your fault. Okay, look, I'm an old dude. I fish boater. I fish co-angler. In the coasters in the day. If my guy doesn't have that conversation with me, I have it with him before we start, so that there's not any kind of problem. They say in real estate that location, location, location. Well, in relationships, it's communication, communication, communication. Doesn't matter if it's with your spouse, your kids, or your fishing partner. So feel free to have that conversation, because it just makes the day go better for everybody. And by the way, the idea that, saying, well, I didn't tell him that. Well, if you sat down to eat dinner with him, you wouldn't tell him not to eat food off your plate. Or if you were with your girlfriend, you wouldn't tell him not to give her a kiss. So either way, he's going to get his due. So, just talk to us. And by the way, as a co-angler, I like hearing you guys tell me, what's a boat ride going to be like? Am I going to have to hang on like crazy, or is this going to be a, pretty decent ride? So communication is just a good thing to make the day better for everybody.
Keith, can I ask you a question?
Fire away.
You wouldn't happen to be a licensed therapist, would you?
Actually, I'm not.
That was really good.
I'm the farthest thing from that. It's hilarious. If you actually knew me, you wouldn't believe I would even be making this phone call. But seriously, it just makes the day go better. In fact, one dude that I drew in a Costa on Dardanelle, turns out it was day 2. He's leading the tournament. We sit and talk for a minute, and I asked him, I said, do you have plenty of fish? And he said, no, I really don't. Said, I'm not even sure it's going to last for 3 days if I make it till tomorrow. And I said, I didn't do anything yesterday, so I'm just going to sit and watch you today. All I ask is that you teach me what you're doing. That's all I want to know. I won't throw within 20 feet of anything you're going to fish. And actually, the only time I got up and held a rod all day was when the camera boat came by, just so I didn't look like a dork. But, I mean, and he caught 6 keepers that day, and on the final day, he caught 5 keepers and won the tournament. But I told him, I said, I have nothing to gain by catching one of your fish, and you have everything to lose. So, it can work to your advantage just to communicate. And by the way, when I told him I wasn't going to fish, he said, no, man, you paid your money, you fish. And I said, if you teach me what you know, it'll be worth every penny I spent for this tournament. And it was. And it was just it was a good experience.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you send your contact information to matt@basson.com?
Just call you every time I have a meltdown.
He needs to stay in touch with you, all right, man?
That's good stuff.
That's good stuff. Give the worst advice in the world. But seriously, I'm old, you're young, so just communicate. You're not going to make anybody mad.
It's good stuff.
All right, man. Thanks for the call. Take care, man.
Have a good day.
All right, see you. That was good stuff right there. Hopefully he does send his contact info to you.
I will say right now, we're going to randomly draw for the Sunline spool.
Okay.
But right now, Keith's in the lead for the 7'4" Denali lithium medium heavy multi-spin.
Can't disagree with that.
Hope he enjoys finesse fishing in Kentucky.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this? You there? No, he's not there. Hang on. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hey, this is Rusty from Missouri.
Rusty, how are you, man? What's on your mind?
Hey, freaking caller. Hey, I just was trying to get in back when you was talking about the boat and the numbers and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be a good idea, in my opinion, I'd like to see Bass extend the Classic field to all past Classic champions instead of just the last year's champion? You know how bowling does it? You know, they had the champions, and then NASCAR's got that playoff deal where all the past champions get in the past so many years. I just think that would maybe spike up a little bit with everything that's going on in fishing to maybe keep the crowds together, maybe calm down some of this splitting and arguing amongst different leagues and divisions.
Hey,
I do think 150 probably the best field on the opens, like the old Redman days.
Yeah, that's good. So, all right, let me say this real quick, and I'm sorry to speak over you right there, but I have said this for years. There needs to be a Tournament of Champions on the Bassmaster Elite Series or whatever you want to call it. That is something that needs to happen. And the way that it works the same way that the old PBA model worked for the Tournament of Champions. You have X number of people that are invited, and then every time that you have somebody new that wins a title, the oldest person with the oldest title, or whenever that title cycles out. And then you got to win another one to get back in. This is something that would create an enormous amount of interest in the fans. I don't think it needs to be associated in any way with the Bassmaster Classic, because the Bassmaster Classic is the Bassmaster Classic. And you bring up a great point. This would bring a lot of people in the industry. It would be a lot of people from an angler standpoint, and it would bring an enormous amount of fan interest in this event. I don't think it would be like the Bassmaster Classic, but I think it's something that is definitely needed, and I think that if Bass truly tried to position a Tournament of Champions, that they could sell the sponsorship in that. Heck, they got Whataburger involved with an Elite Series.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway, I love everybody fishing. I love everybody out there. I love all that. But I watched the weigh-ins over this past weekend, and with 230-something boats in that thing, it took forever.
Here's what I need to do.
I think they need to put a limit. They need to put a limit. About 150 would be good in the opens, in my opinion. And, I mean, they should give people who don't make the Classic so many spots, like the top 50 maybe, automatically, get to regroup and come back and retry again, and then break it down that way. But they need to have some space for new guys to get in as well, or step up in the lower divisions. Give them a chance to kind of like start the stepping stone, up the ladder. Weekend Angler wants to try and go opens, and maybe give us a few spots for them as well.
All right, man.
Agree, Rusty.
Thanks for the call.
It would.
Thank you guys.
All right, take care.
It would crack you guys up.
What's that?
When like me or Andrew or Brad, we have a decent day, right? But you weigh in at 2:30.
Yeah.
Well, the last flight checks in at 5:20. So you're already like 40 minutes into the weigh-in, and you weigh in. And I did this at the last one because I finished 43rd.
Yeah.
You just sit there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you're like, is it ever going to end?
I know.
And then it's like, oh, I'm still in 38th. Oh, no, I'm in 30. And you're just watching flight after flight. And then it's like 5:45. And you know what? Guess what my 4 favorite words that I have ever read in my entire life are? The weigh-in has concluded.
Oh.
It says it at the top of the leaderboard after you keep refreshing. And you're like, where are these people coming from? And then you'll refresh it, and it'll say, the weigh-in has concluded.
Yeah.
It's in italic print, number 12.
I'm very familiar with it.
It's the most beautiful sentence in all of fishing.
Yeah. Hey, we will do this. You remember the crazy idea that I had with the golden ticket?
Yeah.
You remember that? I had a PowerPoint presentation. I went really, really deep into how to generate revenue and build interest, more interest in the Bassmaster Classic and all that. Anyway, I might have to go back to the PowerPoint presentation on the ultimate tour and how it would be set up based upon the levels, the numbers, the qualifications, and most importantly, the winnings. Might do that. It's summertime, Matthew. I'm not in class. I'm not teaching. I got a little time on my hands. So I might do that. Because I truthfully believe that I have the ultimate package to be able to put something together. Come on, man. Your mind's in the gutter. Jeez. Oh, Matthew. You know what I meant. Jeez. Little chuckle over there. All right. Let's go back to the phones. Jeez. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hey, this is Kyle Mollett from Southern Illinois.
What's up, Kyle?
Kyle, what's on your mind?
Hey, my question is for Matt. If you could change one rule in the bass regulations, what would it be?
Ooh, good question.
Change one rule in bass regulations. What would it be?
He didn't stump you, did he?
He stumped me.
Oh. What, you might have to think about that one?
Yeah. I'm thinking, because I'm thinking, like, what are the asinine rules that they have?
Here, I'll throw one out, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. Nets or no nets?
No nets. I don't like the nets.
Okay.
There's a whole skill involved in that.
You got any you want to throw out there?
I think the... No, because you're breaking a lot.
How about the off-limits rule for the opens? There is no off-limits.
Yeah, okay. There it is. Right there.
Thank you.
The off-limits rule for the opens, it's off-limits. You have three. Okay, you're trying to qualify for the Bassmaster Elite Series, correct?
Correct.
Bassmaster Elite Series has 2.5 days of practice before it.
Yeah.
The Bassmaster Opens, I think you practice Monday, Tuesday, and half of Wednesday, and it's off-limits for a week before that. Not 2 weeks, because you got a lot of guys who are guiding on those lakes. A lot of those guys are making a living on those lakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to take money out of their pockets, but I want to discourage the fact that you're sitting at home and it's a Thursday or Friday and you know guys have been there for 9-10 straight days. Give it a week. Fisheries change in a week, especially with the Elite Series schedule that is heavy spring and heavy fall. You don't have a lot of summertime stuff where they're going to be in the exact same spot for months at a time. That will save a lot of guys a lot of money. And I think it will also kind of level out the playing field too. It will also, a week of off limits will also lower the dial-a-bass level. So then instead of not being able to call the locals and the guy, your buddy who fishes it and stuff just for, 2 or 3 days before the tournament, just that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, add another week to that. Now you're 10 days out on the information that you can get.
Dial-a-bass is still going to be there. That's not going away.
Yep. Anyway, that's what I would change. I would just add an additional 5 days of off limits.
I just throw me an assist on that one.
Yep.
All right.
You get an assist,
All right.
a secondary assist. Does that sound good, Kyle?
That sounds great. That was
what about you? You got one?
Say again?
You got one? You had anything in mind? Did you have any?
No, mine was pretty much along the lines with yours, but not as detailed.
All right, that's good stuff, man. All right, have a good week, dude. Thanks for calling.
You too. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
Doug says the dead fish penalties. Man, I think a 4-ounce penalty for a dead fish is fair. It can cost you. It is significant. I think anything more than that is unfair, and anything less than that is not. I think they've got the dead fish penalty at 4 ounces right on the button, and not being able to call it. If that, obviously, you have a 98+% release rate. You look at what Ray Scott, what Bass, what all of the tournament organizations have done to increase catch and release, to increase the stocking programs, what Gene Gilliland has done as a conservation director of Bass with Habitat, with how they're changing the way the tournaments are run and organized with the putting fish in the live well. It's just a matter of fact, you're going to have a deceased fish every now and then. I don't think it should be minimalized. Like, I don't think you should be able to cull a dead fish. Obviously, then you start breaking state laws for wanton waste. I also don't think it should, it cost Dalton Bobo a classic.
Yeah.
But
why the
4 pound?
Why the
ounces.
feeling on nets? You just never been a fan?
Well, for one, there's a definite skill. Obviously, I believe Ken Duke was talking about, Ray Scott went no nets because, dude, there's a difference between watching Kevin Van Dam on an 8XD trying to land this freaking 7-pounder on Gunnersville that's just thrashing next to the boat and the landing, and then he's got it in his hand, and it's just the photographs, and it's aesthetically pleasing. It's the play at the plate, right? It's the thing where everybody stops and goes, is he going to get it? You have the agony of defeat with the fish coming off. You have the thrill of the catching them. I mean, dude, there's a big difference if you watch the TV show of a guy fumbling with one rod in his hand that ends up looking like a fly rod bent over back behind his head with a net, looking like the most uncoordinated thing, just freaking scooping around, getting it, and then it comes in, and a guy hand-to-hand combat at the side of the boat.
No, I get it.
You could also, in a way, say, hey, the no net actually helps the fish, keeps them healthier at the slime coat and stuff, but I think it's just, I mean, there's a definite skill in not having a net. Plus, you don't trip over it. You don't have to worry about getting it. Now that the onus isn't on the co-angler, if you say, hey, I'm going to land my own fish, it's just a lot less crap to worry about.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hey, guys, this is Blake from Georgia. How y'all doing?
Blake, doing well, man. What's on your mind?
Hey, I had a little bit of a shad spawn question for you. I was on Lake Eufaula, Alabama, last weekend with the pro circuit guys and just doing some fun fishing. And I found a shad spawn first thing that morning, and it was a little bit before safe light. So, I mean, nobody would have been able to get there during the tournament, and it only lasted about 10 minutes, but it was absolutely insane. And I could not get a single one of them to bite. I threw a white buzzbait, white spinnerbait. I threw a fluke, a little 3.3 Kitech, and I couldn't get them to fire on anything. I even flipped a BFE in there to them just to see if they bite something completely different. And I was just going to get y'all's guys' opinion on that, and also, like, how long it might last. Like, I was just wondering if maybe those fish would be there next weekend or if they've already moved on. Just your opinion on it.
Matt?
Here's the deal on the shad spawn. I'm not a shad spawn expert, and I think you would be hard-pressed to find a young guy, and I'm not saying I'm young, but because here's the deal. The shad spawn is such a specific time of the year, and it lasts for so short, and the conditions have to be right for it to happen. It's not like you can go practice a shad spawn for 15 hours a day for months on time, right? So to become an expert and understand the nuances of the shad spawn, I think you have to been there and done that, been around and been on fisheries. Like, dude, if I can't even offer you any expertise on that. I really can't. I wish I could. Do you, Mark? You've had more experience with it than I can.
Have you not really been dialed in on a shad spawn before, ever?
No, not in a tournament.
Really?
No, I thought I was at Pickwick, and I zeroed on it. I didn't catch any on it.
Well, now, I'll say this. You know who has taught me a lot about the shad spawn? Brad Hallman.
Yeah, he's a big shad spawn guy.
He's really taught me a lot, and I learned a lot about the shad spawn at Lake Texoma here in Oklahoma and Texas. And the one thing that I've learned about the shad spawn, especially tournament, it's great to have a plan, but you always have to have a backup because it's predictably unpredictable. Does that make sense?
That's perfect. So a day one I got a really early boat draw on day one of Pickwick. I'll say this. I started in a marina. I knew there was shad there. They'd followed my bait back. I didn't want to burn a long run by not fishing it because I knew that there was a big shad spawn. Andrew Upshaw and I started on the same exact row of docks, believe it or not, out of 225 guys.
Okay.
Carl Jacobson was 200 yards away. Andrew Upshaw and I caught a combined one keeper in the first 45 minutes, and Jacobson had 15, 16 pounds in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally... And, you know, I looked at Andrew, and I was like, God, I didn't know this is where you were starting. He's like, yeah. He's like, he was telling me the night before, he's like, I think I got a place I can catch a limit in 9 casts. Yeah. And then he rolls in, and I'm like, oh, what? Well, I've made 9 casts, and I don't have a keeper yet. So it's, I'm a little bit, I mean, I understand it. I get the whole premise of it, but I just don't have my head wrapped around how to rely on it.
I'll tell you this. You mentioned that you were throwing everything that you had in the tackle box or the boat or whatever, and you just cannot catch them during that time of the shad spawn. I'll give you a quick example that has taken place this year already. Shad spawn was going on a couple weeks ago at Lake Texoma. Me and Drew the True Smith went to Texoma, and I said, look, dude, we're going down there to do one thing, and that's fish the shad spawn. And there's a specific area on Texoma that Brad has really kind of showed me and taught me how to fish the shad spawn. Well, an interesting fact about where we were and what happened is we caught them really good, but Drew in the back of the boat actually caught them better, and he was throwing a help me out here.
Flying lure.
No.
Banjo
Thunder
minnow.
cricket.
Oh.
He was throwing a thunder cricket. All right. And I was throwing a spinner bait and a swim bait. And he primarily threw that thunder cricket. And I don't know what it was. It was just a different look. I mean, I still caught plenty of fish, but he was absolutely smashing them on that thunder cricket. And, man, sometimes that's just how it happens. And you can pull up on a dock. This particular area that we were fishing the shad spawn, it was, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 areas of docks, basically. And the shad would spawn on the styrofoam or around the boat docks. There was riprap behind there, and there was nothing on the riprap. But you would go to the boat docks and parallel the boat docks and get your arm absolutely smashed.
Yeah, I don't understand how or why that works. I don't understand how they spawn. I don't understand why they spawn over deep water or sometimes they spawn up shallow.
Yeah.
I don't understand why there's bass around them sometimes and there's not.
The point that I'm trying to share with you is some of the knowledge that has been passed on by Bradley to me. Sometimes, man, that just happens. It is it's unexplainable why certain things are happening. They just do, and you try to adapt. And I'll tell you this: we thought we had it figured out that we can only catch fish off of styrofoam docks, and we pulled off in this other cut, and it was not a styrofoam dock, and we caught a 5 and a 4 and a 4.5 off of this dock that we thought, what the heck? What's going on? And you think that you have them figured out, but then you go by this one dock and you absolutely smash them. And you try to figure out why. That is the one question in this game that if everybody knew the answer to why, they would all be Kevin Van Dam, if not better. All right? And the why factor, especially with the shad spawn, is just something that you got to deal with. It is a fun time. Sometimes it lasts 10, 15 minutes. Sometimes it can last 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, depending on the weather and the sunshine and what's going on and the conditions that you have on that lake. It is a very, very fun thing to do. It's a special time of the year. And quite honestly, see if you can get somebody that is really, really good at fishing the shad spawn. Learn what you can from them. But just like anything else, man, the best thing to do is get out there when the shad spawn is taking place and learn as much as you can. That's about all I can say about that.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was helpful, guys. I guess that's why they call it fishing instead of catching.
The question why? Why? Why did that happen? Well, I don't know. That was when, by the way, did you guys come to a conclusion, Matt and Brad, about what that fish was that Drew caught? It was a meanmouth.
No, we were split.
It was a meanmouth.
Split decision.
It was a green smallmouth, if that makes any sense. It was a green brownish smallmouth. It was 4 pounds. It was a gorgeous fish that Drew caught when we were down there fishing the shad spawn. So great. Hey, great question. Appreciate you calling in, man.
We are at after Blake there. The next one will be caller number 16. You want to just knock it off at 11:20?
Yeah, we can do that. I don't have to be at class, man.
Take 5 more calls. That'll be almost a 2-hour show.
That's good stuff. All right. Hey, you're on BTL.
Take 5 more.
Hang on. I'm going to turn him down. Turn your speaker volume down real quick before we go to you. Hopefully he's got that fixed. Now let's see if we can. Nope.
He just was saying, can you guys hear us?
Hang on.
That was him talking.
Hang on. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
What's going on, guys? This is Austin from Texas.
What's up, Austin?
Austin, what's on your mind, man?
Oh, not a whole lot. Man, I had a question for Mark. This is in regards to your opinion on the national team trail that you talked about in recent past on the show.
Yeah.
So I'm a former college angler, myself and my partner have been running the Bass Champs Trail down here in Texas this year, Central Division, East Division, and working Monday through Friday, 7:45 to 6 at night. It's hard to get out and run the Bass Open and run some of these individual events like Matt's doing. So, Texas has like the Bass Champs Trail split into divisions. So what's your opinion on a national team trail having regions and bringing in for one championship out of those regions and qualifying for it? So I guess that's my question for you guys.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And by the way, Chad and his staff and everything they do with Bass Champs down there, they've been doing it a long time, and they run a great tournament trail and really open up a lot of opportunities to guys like yourself. Now, I said this from the start. I've been talking about this for years. My objective or my comments are based upon, I truly believe, and a lot of people that I have spoken with believe, there are 60 teams across the nation that would support an 8-tournament, high entry fee, high payout, professional team trail that goes across the nation. Now, I'm with you. I believe that after the first year, the best way to bring in new teams to that, if it did exist, would be through regional qualifying, and then you set things up to where if people want to take part in this national trail, all right, you have the means created and available to where if they want to step up and do the 8-tournament national team trail, then boom, that's how you can get in it. Now, part of the premise that I have stated from the beginning on this is the vast majority of people across the nation that tournament fish do what?
No, we work, yeah.
Well, you work, but what kind of tournaments do you fish? The vast majority of people.
No, it's grassroots team events.
It's team events. And the individual stuff exists out there. I mean, I've told stories about back in the Redman days and the Central Pro-Am days and all that and everything, but the vast majority of people that tournament fish out there, team fish. Well, guess what? There needs to be a national team trail out there to where at least 60 teams, 120 anglers, can have an opportunity to compete at what the vast majority of people are doing across this nation from a tournament perspective. So I think fans would be interested in it. I've had some people send me emails and comments, I wouldn't watch it. I'm not interested in that. That would be a very, very small number. The vast majority of the people, they want to see it. They would watch it. They would learn from it. And I think it would create some opportunities out there to where you wouldn't have to burn up all your vacation time if you're a working guy or own a business or whatever you do to be able to work around that schedule. But at the same time, now you've created a situation that the vast majority of people across the nation that tournament fish through team trails have a vested interest in what's taking place on the weekends. What are your thoughts on that?
I would definitely agree. I mean, if it had something like that, I had enough time and space where in the cash flow, I would absolutely be a part of that deal. And I appreciate the insight, and hopefully one day that can all come to fruition.
Yeah, I think Chad and his group, if they want to step up, they definitely have the infrastructure to be able to do it. They have the sponsorship. They have the what I call sweat equity in running team trails, that if they did want to step up and try and take it to a national perspective, that would be one of the groups that I think that might be able to accomplish it. But hey, man, it's only time and money.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Well, man, I'm a daily listener. I appreciate the insight and information, and y'all keep doing y'all's thing, and I appreciate the call.
All right, man. Take care.
Awesome.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I it was cool that one dude, what was his name? That Clyde sent me that email about what's going on in Texas. And I'll be interested to see how that goes this year with the 3 events with a $1,000 entry fee and a $700 side pot per team. So $1,700.
They do that up in Minnesota too. I think they have 4 tournaments. They capped it at 50 boats, and it's kind of a big payout, and they go around the state.
Yeah. Cool stuff. All right, man. Hang on. Let's go back to the phones, and then I want to ask you a question. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hey, this is Sean White out of Chicago. How are you?
Sean, doing well, man. What's on your mind?
Just curious. So I'm doing, like some big water on Great Lakes fishing, smallmouth. How do you guys go about choosing the weights for finesse fishing? I always feel, people say go as light as possible.
Yeah.
But, after a while, I'm just sitting there changing weights the whole time, trying to figure.
Oh, he went away. I guess his cell signal. Here, what was his name? Did you write down his name?
Sean.
Let me say this. You need to tune in to day 4 because the guy to ask that question is Uncle Frank.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm talking Frank Scalish. You need to get on the instant feedback when we do day 4 on Thursdays. Ask that question, and you will get an answer from the man.
Yep.
Because there's not too many people that know more about fishing for smallmouth on the big lakes.
Real quick before we go back,
Yeah.
John Bird III.
Yeah.
He's got Derb coming up, and he did not understand how the spoken hub worked. And he's like, dude, can you lay it out real quick? Yeah.
It's awesome.
So that was his question.
It's
So I wanted
awesome.
to make sure it got in. It's super simple.
Yeah.
Your hub is where you think your best area, not a specific spot, area is, has the most fish, has the most potential. You're going to live in that area. Your spoke might be a spot. It might be an odd pattern. It might be a beaver hut. It might be something that you can fish later in the day. But your hub is where you think you're going to do most of your damage. Then you add a little bit to the spokes, and that's your spoke and hub. And then together it makes a wheel. You need the spokes to keep the wheel together, but you need the hub to keep the spokes together. That's it.
All right.
That's what I've done every single tournament this year. Every single one. Like I had a stretch of 8 docks. That was my hub.
Yeah.
My spokes were 2 current seams and a channel bend with cypress on it.
That's
that was my
good stuff.
spoke and hub.
Man, that's really good stuff. And it's worked for Matt, and I think it's definitely an application that can be applied on a number of bodies of water across this nation. So good stuff. Hey, real quick, Sean, I see your comment on the YouTube comments. Make sure you tune in Thursday with Frank, and sorry that the call dropped on there, but we will definitely try to get you an answer with Frank on Thursday. All right, back to the phones. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this? Uh-oh. Little bad cell service there.
Try one more time.
You there, man?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We got you.
Go ahead. No, we don't. All right, man. He needs to
try back.
He needs to call back when he has a little bit better cell signal there. All right, a number of people have asked me. I've received emails on it. They want us to do a marathon show. What are your thoughts on that? Could we go 24 hours talking about bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
I'm in, man.
No, I'm in too because I can run it while you're gone.
What do you mean?
Well, I can run that side now, so you can take a break and.
Oh yeah, yeah, folks. You want us to do that? It might get a little dicey on subject matter over a 24-hour period.
We can bring in a lot of guests.
Has that ever been done before? I don't think it has.
Yeah, I'm sure it has.
In the bass fishing world?
In a podcast? I don't know. I don't think Travis has done a 24-hour. He might have. Podcast. I think Tyler's Real Fishing fished for 24 hours. But this format for 24 hours?
Yeah.
Would you break it up into 3-hour segments?
You'd have to and take a 15-minute break or something. Grab some grub.
Well, no, because then you just have the other person switch. Then it's not a 24-hour marathon. Then it's just a show.
Well, you're still on. You just take a commercial break or whatever and then come back.
Well, we
and
just
you might
do
have food.
2-hour shifts. You do one show, then I do one show, then you do.
No, we do them together, dude.
You would sit here. We would both sit here for 24 hours.
Yes. We're a team, man.
There's no way that would work.
I'm not going to throw over your shoulder. Come on now.
I expect some epic headbutts in about the 11th hour. What do you think we could get into between?
Oh, so much stuff. Folks, do you want
Dude, that's not healthy for you right now.
I'm good, man. The only thing I can't do, I can't taste, I can't smell, and my right leg's kind of jacked up.
I know, but that's probably not healthy to do 24 hours right now for you.
Why not?
I feel like you need still.
Dude, I don't
rest.
get that much sleep right now anyway. Last night I stayed up. I watched the Blues game. Did you watch any of the hockey? The Capitals Boston series is incredible. It's tied up 1-1. Went to
No,
overtime.
I listened to a bunch of the series. I listened
Oh
to
my gosh.
to the Penguins game.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
or Vegas.
really
who's
good.
Vegas playing Minnesota? Vegas. I listened to the Vegas-Minnesota game.
Yeah, very entertained by the Capitals and the Bruins. Still watching the Blues. Billington played okay. He got drilled with shots last night. It was, it was like target practice on him. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this? Hello. He's in a warehouse.
Hello?
Yep, we got you.
Who is this? You're on BTL. Who is this?
Hey, this is Jeff Copley from Central Ohio.
Hi, Jeff. What's on your mind?
Well, I was just, I want to agree with everybody else that Matt's situation is crap. The fish BFL's up in Michigan Division, and I guess I would say as a co-angler, I would want him to say something to me from the beginning. It's always, you're just hesitant on how far you can actually cast. But I did have a question for Matt.
Okay.
This year, see, my issue is we go to Lake St. Clair.
Right.
I'm signed up as a co-angler again this year. I have an aluminum boat, and until I take the step up to have a big water type boat, I'm not going to fish as a boater. But we are going to travel together, and I'm traveling with a guy that's fishing on the boater side, and I'm just wondering how you would handle a situation where, say, I have some fish, but I don't want to spin my guy out or anything, or make him not believe in his program. But at the same time, if I have fish found, we could salvage a day if it's all going to crap. So I was just curious if you've ever had any situations where that worked out, or should I just wait till I get to the boat?
To me, it's a easy answer here. That guy's fishing as a boater. He paid it. He's got his freaking game plan. I wouldn't say anything. Trust me, and I'm sure you've witnessed it. It's pretty obvious when the wheels start coming off up front.
Right.
And as long as it's within the rules and I don't have an issue with it, dude, I'm one of the guys that'll say, man, you got anything on this stretch, especially if it's a local. I don't like the guys, I personally, who are like, hey man, I've got fish, because then the whole day it's just, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say anything until he either says something or it's obvious it's spinning. He's done and spinning out.
Especially like big water, I don't want to be down somewhere and then have it not work out anyway. So
right, that's why
to begin with.
If I'm going to my co-anglers fish, I've either had a really good day or I'm really, really struggling. And a lot of the time, I know they've got spots and stuff, but I'm working my thing is I don't want to invest $3,800 into a tournament, a week of my life, and potentially the Elite Series on what some guy that I met that morning says that I have no clue who he is from Adam. I can handle sucking and not making it and losing all that money on my own and my own decisions. But when I'm literally just going, oh, what's your name? And you think you've got a spot? Okay, let's throw everything that I've done for the whole week and my whole season out to just go check that. I would rather suck on my water. I can live with that. I could sleep at night on that than take a gamble. But that being said, there also is a time and there also is an opportunity based on how things are going to just say, man, later on, hey, don't want to throw you off your game. We're near a spot that I got some bites on in practice. It's cleared with my boater. If you want to stop on it, we might be able to pick up a fish. No promises. And then just leave it at that. Trust me, if you mention it one time that you might have some spots to catch a fish and that guy's struggling and thinks that's his best opportunity, he will bring it up again. But right. The worst is pounding, oh, I've got a spot here. I've got a spot there. I've got a spot here. I've got a spot there. Because then you're going to start spinning them out. Now you've got a guy who's running half of his game plan. He's running over, stopping on your stuff. Then he's pissed that he's not catching stuff off your stuff. Or he is, and now his game plan's off. But dude, if you just mention it once, just say, hey, it's out there. If you want it, let me know. And then not mention it again, trust me, that's in that guy's head. And if he believes that's his best option to save your day, even if you think you're not doing the right thing, that's the part of, hey, man, you're paying less money and you got less invested into it as the co-angler, and you're going to suck right alongside that guy, but he paid the big money to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And I guess, yeah, that's perfect. And I guess what I would also add is I've got, just doing it in a couple of years, I've got the chance to draw some like serious hammers and guys that have been doing this like since Redman. And most of them are the ones that are just like straight up front with a co-angler.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been, it's almost a better experience. See, like up north, you're fishing current all the time, Lake St. Clair's current. So I want a guy to be like up front with me, like, hey, if I'm turned this way, you can fish behind me, because the boat's facing the current. You want to be casting up current as much as you can. But I guess the more up front he is from the beginning. But that's kind of what I was thinking was I'll wait till it's my turn.
Yep.
All right, man. Good stuff. Thanks for the call.
Appreciate it. Hey, I fish Tuesday nighters against Charlie Hartley all the time.
Oh, hell
you guys need to get him on the show.
Yeah, he's been on a bunch.
Yeah, he's on the instant feedback, and he said, yeah, I'm all in on the marathon. So Charlie would definitely be part of the marathon.
Oh, he's the man. Every day is a marathon for Charlie Hartley.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
400 and something days in a row catching a fish.
Yeah, that's that's
Yep.
impressive.
All right, thanks, Jeff. We got
All
two
right,
more
man.
calls. This is caller number 19
All right,
on the
take
day.
care. All right. Hang on. I've got to get to this question because Colby, let me throw that up there. That was me that dropped the call. Was wanting to know how Matt would fish for a fry garter that you see. Worked on one for 30 minutes with no luck.
Not an expert in fry garters either. I go floating worm, wacky worm, something that suspends high in the column, and cast to it as long as I can see it. And if I come across one, I come across one. But that's a Frank Brad Hallman question as well.
Yeah. Are we going to have our little match this year? That hasn't been brought up. I'm 7-1. I finally got the W last year. 8-1?
No, you're 1-8.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You are 7-1 or 8-1
8.
or whatever. Is it?
I believe this
All
is
right.
the 10th anniversary.
We have to do it. We have to do it. What do you want the ground rules to be this year? And when can we do it? Can we do it next week? Are you out? Yeah, we can do it next week.
Oh, with all this rain?
Next week, not this week.
Where do you want to do it?
I'll give you 3 lakes. You
Let
tell me
guess.
which one.
10 Killers 1.
That's one of them.
Texoma's 1.
That's one of them.
And Lake X is 1.
That is the other one. You give me 3 lakes.
Dude, I'm good with anything. It'll be fun. I just want to catch fish and have
All
a
right.
good match.
All right. Well,
Do you think we can fish Lake X without giving it away?
yeah, but the thing about it is, if the wind blows on Lake X, we can't go.
Okay, well, we'll pick a day where the wind's not blowing.
All right.
And you have absolutely no reason to lose because you've been there freaking 9 million times with 90 people.
Yeah, but man, you're trying to make the Elite Series. I'm a has-been old man.
The good thing is, it seems like if you have a bait with a hook, you catch one.
Where?
At Lake X.
Yeah, that's pretty much
For the
case.
most part.
But it's been a little rough the last 2 times.
I
I've
mean,
been
it's
up
just
there.
it's fixing to be that time of the year where it's going to be a grind.
Yeah.
So I'd like to pick a lake that would be the least amount of grind since this is supposed to be a fun catch
Texoma,
fish.
or not Texoma, 10 Killer.
That's
again?
going to get to be a grind.
You think so? The water's still up though.
Yeah, we probably catch one spinnerbait and topwater right now. But
yeah. All right, we'll figure it out. But we are going to have it the 10th anniversary. I've only won one time, folks. One time. That was last year.
we can't pick a lake with a slot limit either.
And then maybe Texoma.
No, that Lake X has a slot limit?
No.
Yeah, we'll do Lake X.
Okay. All right. Back to the phones. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
This is Vicky from Ohio.
Vicky, how are you doing?
Yes.
What's on your mind?
I'm good. I just wanted to let you know that we do want a 24-hour marathon. And I have a couple ideas on T-shirts.
Okay.
Hit us with them.
Okay. The first one is on the, my favorite color is 7. Make the 7 your favorite color.
Orange.
Okay.
How are you going to graduate from Oklahoma? That's bad. He's Oklahoma graduate. His favorite color 7. His favorite color's orange.
Very nice, Matthew. All right, what else?
Okay, and the second one is make a T-shirt that says "We're a team."
That's pushing the line there, Vicky.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry, but you know what? You guys do really make a good team. I mean, I'm not no jokes, but you guys really do make a good team.
Oh, you're talking about me and Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're a team.
That's why I would never do a marathon without him. Are you kidding me?
Well, I just meant we could do some of it together, and then you could step out and take a break,
me and you,
and
dude.
I could take it.
The only way I do it is if you're in that chair.
We are
and
a
I'm in
team,
this
and my
chair.
favorite color is 7, but then the 7 is orange.
Yeah.
For it.
Awesome.
I like it. Thank you.
All right,
Vicky.
Okay. Hey, you guys, we really enjoy your show all the time. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for calling.
All right.
All
Bye
right,
now.
see you.
All right, we are down to our last.
This is the last one.
Last caller of the day, and then we will give away the 600-yard spool
All right, now,
of Sunline.
Another question on the marathon. We would actually have to make that marathon part of the fan show by having Sunline Hotline segments of the 24-hour marathon.
So what? Yeah. How would you do it? Would you start it with like a BTL at 8:30, and then go till 8:30 the next morning?
I think. 8:30 a.m.
So no, you'd start at 9:30 a.m.
Yeah.
You would start at 9:30 a.m.
No, I think 10 to 10. 10 to 10.
10 a.m. to 10 a.m.
10 a.m. to 10 p.m. No, 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. Yeah.
10 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Good Lord, Mark.
Can it be done, folks? Can we pull it off? What do you think? Obviously, we'd have a Frank section, a Ken Duke section. We'd bring the truth in, the return of the truth.
I feel like you could just wreck 17 years in 24 hours once you. I mean, because people are going to take clips out of that. They don't care if you've been. I mean, after 18 hours, you're going to say whatever comes to your mind.
It's about reputation. Our reputation and the high standards that I try to uphold during this show. It wouldn't be any different. We're not going to get hammered on.
Have you ever done stayed up 24 hours?
Yeah.
Straight?
Oh, yeah. I think the longest I ever stayed up. Well, remember that one drive home when we were on the road?
Yeah, and you took 11 no-dos. You were snorting no-dos at truck stops.
I was not. I did take no-dos and what is that white Rockstar? I had 3 Rockstars with no-dos. And I stayed awake. But boy, did I crash and burn the next day.
That was back before you learned what cruise control was, and literally
it was
for 24 hours. I mean, dude, possibly one of the worst drivers I've ever been around.
It's much better now. Cruise control.
Remember Harold refused to even drive with you?
I do remember that.
Refused to get in the truck with Mark.
Matthew, who's driving? Jeffrey's driving?
I'm
not going.
No, I'm good. I'll just take the truck.
Can
Meet
you drive?
You there.
Those were good times. But no, man, we definitely have to have a fan interactive section. We get some guests, non-fishing guests maybe. Talk a little bit about other things, hockey, a little bowling.
We could have the random call section where we just randomly call people and see if they answer.
We get Chris Prather on. He'd definitely want to be a part of that.
Yeah, we could probably get Travis to do it, and Brian the Carpenter, and Ike, and all those guys.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, we'll see if we can get that.
I feel like Ken Duke retires early. In the evening.
It would be the afternoon portion of the show.
I feel like he's not a night owl. I could be wrong on that. That's when he might crunch all of his numbers between 2 and 5 a.m.
Might. All right, let's bring in the final caller of the Sunline Hotline Show today. Hey, you're on BTL. Who is this?
Hello?
Yeah, who is this? You're on BTL.
Hey, sorry, I was counting this money I won last weekend. This is Matt's team partner from the James.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. This is TK from Tacklecraft.
All right.
Oh, what's up, TK?
That's pretty funny, though.
I was like, I've been waiting on this one. I knew it would happen.
I was trying to make him squirm a little bit, but
No.
I was one of the callers talked about earlier, and I've been thinking about this for a while. I've got a great deal of respect for you, Mark, and what you do for the game and how long you've been in it. And if it were me and I were running a giant organization or starting one, I would probably pay whatever it took to have Jeffries working for me.
Why
And,
is that? Why is that?
Because you're a forward thinker, and you look past, the way the game has been played forever. And I think you're always you're innovative, and you look towards what's happening in the future rather than the right now.
Yeah.
And so you can blink twice if you don't want to answer that question, if you've ever been approached. But it seems silly to me that as small as the industry is, how a guy like you didn't get scooped up real quick.
Never been approached. It definitely.
See, to me, that's insane.
Well, I mean, there could be a zillion reasons why, but what you.
You have no idea how rich and deep this question is,
yeah,
TK.
but when I first started this gig and I showed up at Lake Amistad for the very first Elite Series event with what I had, a camera, a laptop, digital voice recorder, and I don't know, a cardboard box, because that was the only way that I could see my laptop when I was on the water. There was a lot of, who the heck is this guy? And what is this guy doing? Mm-hmm. And a lot of my personality, especially early when I was really diving into this whole thing, was based upon the environment that surrounded me for 25 years working at UPS. Now, the environment has changed, but I learned so much about business and people, because at one time, that organization, who was founded by William Casey, was actually based upon people, and people were the priority. And there was a massive focus on understanding how people made you successful, and how to treat people, and how to motivate people, and how to take pride in what you created. So a lot of the stuff that I've done in the industry is really based upon the experience and all the stuff that I did when I was at UPS. I did a lot of stuff, dude, from driving to being a regional vice president, to a controller, to shoveling packages in a hub from midnight to 5 a.m. I've done just about everything you can do in so many ways for that company, and it's really taught me a lot of character, a lot of respect, and a lot of drive. And that's really what got me going in this whole deal when I retired from UPS. What has happened, though, and I will say this, is there's not a single organization out there over time that has not worked with myself, Matt, Brent Conway, who used to be involved with this, Keith Blackstone, Drew Smith, everybody that was involved with this thing that has evolved over almost 30 years. Every organization that we were involved with fully supported what we did. All right? And I like the term and word independent, because it gives you freedom, it gives you accountability, it gives you responsibility, and you're able to take care of the people that work for you and are part of it by maintaining everything that you were involved with for the previous 25 years in a really, really successful company that you worked at. So I don't feel like what rubbed wrong,
slighted,
or yeah, whatever, because I've never been approached, because of the cooperation and the professionalism that every organization has extended toward us, and how we wanted to cover this game from an independent standpoint. Very, very minimal situations over the many, many years that we've covered it. Matt, I'm sure, could bring plenty of them up during the marathon that we do. Were there tense moments? Absolutely. Absolutely. And part of those tense moments were based upon my drive and the respect factor, because I felt that things should be done a certain way in the best interest of my company, the anglers, the organizations, and the fans. And I've really, really tried to base everything that I do on those three components. I mean, Matt has gotten in the middle of it. Heck, me and Matt have had our issues over the years. You spend that much time with somebody, you know, it happens. It happens in families, and Matt and I are like family. But at the same time, you tell me any organization from an independent standpoint that covers this game that has had two individuals last this long and have the impact that we have in trying to bring fresh content to the fans. It doesn't exist. And that's not an egotistical statement. That is just a fact. That is why Matt and I are still together, is because the approach that we've taken, the relationships that we have with the anglers, the relationships that we have with the organizations, it is the basis of trying to do what's right. We're not trying to do what everybody else is doing. We're trying to do what we create.
That's a long question for if you've ever been approached.
Yeah. Don't take this wrong. I don't want you to go anywhere, but I figured somebody with a huge wallet would have walked up and tried to throw a little under your nostrils.
TK, I've been waiting for that huge wallet for the last 14 years.
Oh, yeah. That you know, Matt has had some opportunities to do some work with some of the organizations. Some people might know, when was it? 10 years ago, Matt, when we were doing the
Bass Insider.
You
Listen,
know,
I've kind of gotten rubbed off on Jeffries as far as the independent thing. Like, I mean, I'm like, dude, I got, like, my passion is the fishing right now, right?
Yeah.
And if you work like for one of those organizations, guess what you can't do? You can't fish their tournaments. Like, seriously.
It's a good point. He's got a good point, man.
TK, what do you got new coming out? You got anything? And TK sent me a freaking box of stuff. I was talking about the reverse pliers for the wacky rig tools.
Well,
badass spinner.
Before
baits.
he gets into that, I just want to say thank you for being a fan, and thank you for asking that question, and thank you for being patient for such a long answer.
Oh, that was a great answer.
What else you got? I'm talking about baits now. We got to talk a little bit about.
Oh, dude, I mean, if you saw my office right now, I'm covered up in them. But nothing new. I was just trying to catch up, really.
Yeah.
Doing my sending out all the Epic Eric June bug baits. Those are all headed out.
It's
the door.
Tacklecraft. What's the website? Tacklecraft with a K, right?
It's kind of bad, but I get probably more hate mail for people going to my website because there's nothing on it for sale.
Okay.
Literally, like every third email is, dude, why do you even have a website? Close your website down. There's nothing on it. And I do so many repaints that I really don't have time to put stuff like on my website. So it's like, you know, a couple times a year I'll like load it up.
Okay.
But
if people want repaints or
now,
anything, or are you too swamped?
No, I'm about a month and a half out.
All right.
But
he does. Can I say badass stuff?
I'm catching up.
Yeah, you
like
told
you
me
do
about
really
it.
badass stuff. So
Yeah.
find him on
Thanks,
social
dude.
media and send your $1 million swim baits in, and he'll make them look like $2 million swim baits.
Yeah, I've got probably $4,000 sitting right here on my desk worth of swim baits ready
Just
to get painted.
All Chads.
Yeah. No, I've got BGCs, I've got Toxics, I've got Chad Shads, I've got Phonies, I've got it all, dude.
You still do a lot of warts?
Yeah, fair enough.
The warts kind of went down when the A-Rig went up. It's kind of the same season overlap with a lot of that team stuff there in the Ozark region, in my
I think
opinion.
the rock crawler also.
Yeah, the
put a
rock
little-
crawler is big league, and then you can buy the
Yeah.
clear rock crawler, and then they also have like 7 or 8 patterns that are really awesome in the rock crawler, so you kind of don't need the wart anymore. Yeah, Mark,
Yeah,
I'm thinking
definitely
about
the rock
this.
crawler.
I'm seeing it. Like we would have like 22 hours left.
Oh, I'm good with that.
You are?
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of sweating from the brow.
Just you need some refreshing green tea, man.
All right,
That's what
thanks,
you did.
TK. So here's what I did, Mark.
Good talking to you.
All right, see ya.
In the age of computers,
Yes.
I said, by God, I've been taking everyone and writing it down on a piece of paper and cutting it out and having you drawn it out of a hat. Boy, that seems like a lot of work. So how about we just write down 1 through 20 with their names, what they talked about on it, and then we go to randomnumbergenerator.org. We type in a random number between 1 and 20, and we hit go. I'm going to take number 12 out, because that is Keith in Kentucky who did earn with his Dr. Phil assessment of the communication situation.
Yeah.
He earned a 7'4" Denali lithium, the one that Todd Faircloth talks about every single Monday through Wednesday during our break for the Ned Rig rods and what I use. So if we happen to draw number 12 on the random number generator, we'll have to do it. So I've got it. Are we ready to hit go? This is for a 600-yard spool of 25-pound test Sunline shooter.
Good stuff.
You gonna give me a countdown?
No.
9. Number 9.
Number 9. I would have cracked up if it would have been number 7, but it.
That's Austin in Alabama, who called about the guy's nutrition and stamina and fishing multiple days in a row. So Austin in Alabama sent an email in the subject line, Sunline Hotline winner. Send that subject, Matt@bassone.com, Mark@bassone.com with your mailing address, and that will be in the mail this week. Keith from Kentucky, I need you to do the same thing. Send me your address to Matt@basszone.com. You won the rod. I will forward that email directly to Denali Rods. They'll put it in a rod tube, and they will send it to Kentucky, where
very nice.
You can fish with it.
Very nice. Hey, by the way, Landon, no, this is not our marathon show. It is the longest show that we've done in a while.
It's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, almost 2.5 hours. But not the marathon show. We will go into planning mode to see if we can pull that off. They want to see it, Matthew.
Yep.
They want to listen to it. They want to see it. By the way, we are going to have, I forgot to mention this, Bruce Aiken is going to be on the show here prior to the Classic and kind of give us an update on the Bassmaster Classic and all the ongoing developments that is taking place with Bass and the Bassmaster Elite Series. So we are working on getting a firmed up date prior to the Classic to have Bruce on the show.
Good deal.
Yeah. So great stuff. I have to thank the fans. I love doing these shows. Can't wait to do the marathon show where we had the fans involved in that. What kind of phone calls do you think we'll get at
Hold on.
3:30 in the morning? What is that?
It works underwater.
Here, here.
It even works underwater.
Wow. That's
That's
pretty good, Matt.
Courtesy of Jordan. Jordan, who designed my Best on Tour wrap. Save Jordan.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't signed up for bestontour.net, it's a weekly newsletter.
Yeah.
Kind of business related, all sorts of things in the industry. It comes directly to your inbox. They don't send any other spam to you. Go to bestontour.net, sign up for it. It'll take you an hour or two to go through it. There's links to everything on it each week, but it is well worth your time, especially if you're a fan of BTL. If you are listening to BTL and you do not sign up for bestontour.net, like those things go together. They're my title sponsor for this year. There's a lot of correlations. I provide a lot of content. We kind of have parallel stuff there. You will enjoy it. bestontour.net. You just put your email in and stuff, and then boom, it comes directly to your inbox.
Good stuff. Make sure you do that. All right, tomorrow we're talking Gville, Gunnersville. We're going to have Matt Herron on for a few minutes to give us his take on what's going to go down in northern Alabama this week on the Bassmaster Elite Series. So a lot going on, a lot of tournaments. We got the BPT at the Harris Chain coming up. The Toyota Series, is that right? At Chick is coming up. And then here in a few weeks, the NPFL, guess where they go? They go to the Harris Chain right after MLF was there. So a lot of stuff going on, folks. Looking forward to it. Please, if you haven't done it, subscribe to us on YouTube. We are getting close to that number. We're going to have a big party, hopefully. I've got some connections.
How far away are we? Are we far away enough to where we can
300
to where we can do the 24-hour marathon when we hit 10K?
we might do that. I really want to have a get-together for anybody that wants to show up.
Oh, no, not in person?
Yeah.
In person?
Yeah.
You won't even let stuff get mailed to your house, and now you want them to people
Not
to
here.
show up to that?
No, not here. Not in the studio. At an establishment here in the metro Oklahoma City area. Pull some of my connections with my restaurant friends. Have a little get-together. Little, you know.
If we're doing 24 hours, this is going to be in this studio.
Yes. The 24 show.
What is the mattress? The Purple Mattress?
Yeah.
Sponsored by Purple Mattress.
And Red Bull.
And No Dose. It's even better when it's crushed.
Oh, I did not do that, folks.
He didn't. That was 100% a joke. That was me.
I didn't.
I just remember him taking No Dose and being like, I can't sleep, but this isn't good.
I did not do that.
Got that deal where the eyes are wide open. You know, Jeff Creed's rule. It's always has been. Once you see 3 imaginary things on the road, it's time to pull over. I'll close it on this. I've been followed up on social media. So Jeff's daughter, Paige, is an actress, and she made her debut in a Lifetime movie.
Really?
As one of the featured actresses, and I don't want to butcher the name of this, so you might have to loop it because I want to pull it up in case anybody wants to go back and watch this.
On Lifetime.
On Lifetime.
All right.
And you know if it's not Christmas time and it's a Lifetime movie, someone's getting stalked or killed. Is it true?
I don't watch Lifetime, so I'm not really sure on that.
It would be called hold on, I got to go through the promo real quick. There she is. I got to get to the title. Come on. Sorority Sister Killer. Hey, that's a freaking deal, man.
You know she's an OU grad.
You know how many people try to get into
I'm with you,
onto
man.
TV?
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, that's up there.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
I don't want to spoil it, but apparently she got killed in it.
Maybe we could get her on the show during the marathon. You think Jeff would
I don't know. He posted
get that arranged?
He posted like 4 things about it, so he was pretty proud.
That's good stuff.
That's
All
awesome.
right. If you're listening to the audio portion on the replay on our podcast platform, if you're listening on iTunes, please leave us a review and give us a rating. It helps us out immensely. It really does. That is no BS. It helps us out a ton when you guys do that. So if you're listening to us on iTunes, please help us out there. All right, folks, back again, 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. And then day 4 on Thursday with Frank. Everybody out there, be safe. Have a great Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We're out of here.